Information is power.
This text, I know it's a toss up, but I hate the fact that we lost.
Tell the truth.
Information man, please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Tell me, is you trying to
BS3 Network, changing the way you listen to podcasts. BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV. You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
It's been a day and I've been thinking out loud. I know I want you. Long time since the last time. Got a tab, we can run up. Knew you from the way, now we grown up. My look, yeah, made the realest ones nervous. But if you want it, tap in. I think that I know.
BS3 Network is now on Roku TV under BS3 TV. Download today.
Information is power.
Tell the truth.
We was raised a little different. Used to be ashamed who I was. Now I'm paid by the sinning. Taking my time with it. Baby, give me yours so I could get them butterflies trapped in your ribcage. Let me know we on the same page. Hit me with a text, voice note, or an emoji. Waiting all day for your name on the ID. So if you want it, tap in. I think that I know somewhere that we could go to crash land. And we could keep the pace on slow, yeah. Don't leave me on red. Can we go back where we first began? No plans, all we had was the moment. Just text, I know it's a toss-up, but I hate the fact that we lost touch. Yeah, the Uber pulling up on call. Tell me, is you trying to fall through? I'ma leave it up to you.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Wanna do, speak the truth, hey.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel. Information is power.
Time's been moving slowly.
Tell the truth.
So we already in too deep. Can't get no sleep on each other. Heavy teasing all day, and when the sun sets, you asking me to come through, kick it with you. Night turn to morning dew. Then you
Tell the truth.
No one knows my places like you do. Your places like I do. My place like you do. Baby, don't stop. Got the key to the lock. We in our own zone. Make yourself at home. Get to know mine on the inside. Can meet at your next time. And you feel refreshing. Lose control. You don't wanna go slow. For sure. We both already know your place is my place. Now my place is your place. Let's face it. Baby, you know all the places. Places. My places.
What's up, everybody?
Just face it.
What's up, everybody? Peace.
No one knows my places.
Tell the
Information
truth.
is power.
What's up, everybody? Peace, 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 peace. Let's do a sound check right now. Let me know if you can hear my voice through the microphone. I want to make sure that the sound is correct. So let's do a sound check if we could, if you don't mind. I just want to make sure that everything is coming through A-OK. Let me know, everybody, if you can hear all these different sounds. Do a mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can you all hear me? Can you hear me? Great. If you can, put a beautiful 1 in the chat room, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate you all being here. Let me double check the chat room. People are putting 1s in there. Thank you. I hope for a good crowd today. Everybody in the chat room, this channel matters because you matter. You make this channel go. You make this channel run. I'm inspired every week to bring content to you to go deeper and deeper. Now, everybody, some of you might know about my other channel, the Information Man Speaks podcast. I did do a 20-minute podcast review of what happened at the park. And then as the week has gone and I've done some research that I'm going to bring to you about this situation, I'm going to go deeper and deeper into it than most have gone into it. Most people have touched on it at the surface level, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm going to go deeper into it with the research that I have done so far. Excuse me there. And thank you for your patience, everybody, waiting for me to go live here. And I am going to convene a panel. After I get through all my material, I'm going to get through the material and not waste a lot of time so that I can convene a panel, because I want to get your opinions, your thoughts, such as there's people out here that are saying, well, black people are being over emotional about what happened at Sesame Place, that it's just a misunderstanding. That's what Sesame Place was saying as well. It's just a misunderstanding. OK, and what I want to do is I want to let you know, as you saw on the thumbnail, in the description of the thumbnail, or at least on the thumbnail itself, I said that this situation doesn't look like it's isolated. Now, if you had any chance, like myself, to look at your Twitter and some of your social media, you know that people have put out a collage of small video clips of various different black boys, black girls who have been snubbed by some of the Sesame Street or Sesame Place characters. Okay. And it looks to me, and after doing the research, that it doesn't look as isolated as one will think. Now, a lot of people on YouTube, and I've heard people talking on YouTube about this particular issue, people that have jumped out the window and said, oh, this woman is just trying to attack the precious, our precious national, precious program called Sesame Street. Then you have well-known YouTubers, and I don't give a damn, I'm going to call them out by name. I remember watching a video or a clip of a video by one Brandon Buck Dancing Taylor, whatever the hell he calls himself. Brandon Taylor, you know who you are out there. You're on YouTube. I don't give a damn. I'm going to call him out. I watched a segment of his video and he tried to demonize the sister by saying, well, she only took a 9-minute clip of what happened, but it's funny how we didn't see the rest of the clip. Now you put your foot in your mouth and you put your foot out of the mouth, because I got evidence today on this program to put your foots back in all your damn mouths on YouTube. You don't know what y'all talking about. Y'all don't do the research. Oh, I got the video and I got the thumbnail evidence. There's a reason why you only saw the 9 minutes of that situation. Then Brandon Tatum went on to wax politically to his conservative crowd, his mega crowd, that, oh, Rosita did shake the hand of a kid, but see, there was a kid that was a brown-skinned kid. Oh, I saw the other parts of the video. Like I said in my podcast, no, he shook the hand of a white kid along with that white kid's mother or sister or auntie. And I saw the other angles of the video, and it's clear that he was with his mother or an aunt, and it was a white kid that he shook the hands right after walking past those young girls, the two girls. Let me put their pictures up here. Right here, you've seen this. This has been all over social media. It's not a secret anymore. It's been all over social media. That's right. That's why I got Grouch up there, the garbage guy. Go away, because that's how they were treating black kids at this park. Go away. And I'm going to also explain to you why this is happening, or has appeared to be happening, based on the environment. The environment, look. Environment tells you everything you need to know about how people get treated. Oh, I'm going to talk to you about this Bucks County in Philadelphia and the things that have gone on in Bucks County. See, a lot of folks and jumped out the window, especially your black conservatives. And oh, you black folks you guys are getting emotional and you're running off at the mouth. Come on, it's not what you think. And then you've got Negroes on YouTube talking about, well, what if it was a black person in there? And I said on my podcast just this past week, y'all really need to check out the podcast channel. I'm dropping videos over there almost every other night. Information Man Speaks podcast. I said in my video, if it was, I don't care if it was a black person in that outfit or a white person or a black person, because we've got black people that are self-hating. Can I get a witness? Can I get an amen in the chat room, or a one? We got black folks who don't even like black folks, that talk about black folks like a dog, right? Who claim to be conservative, and every time they talk about anything conservative, it's always negativity, a negative commentary about black people. So whether this was a white person in this outfit or a white person in this outfit, it really doesn't matter, because you got hired by a company and your one goal is to make children happy at the park. And then another thing that mealy mouth individuals on YouTube are running off at the mouth about is that, well, Brandon Tatum, and I'm calling him out, he got up there talking about, well, the reason why they didn't pick up the girls and they didn't shake their hands. Thank you, J-Dog, for the $4.99 super chat. Here is a little something. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I appreciate that a hell of a lot, my brother.
Thank you for the super
chat. And check out J-Dog's channel, too, by the way. I got something for you out there. All those of you in YouTube that's been running your damn mouth about, oh, this woman is trying to destroy a national treasure. Oh, this is make-believe. She's trying to get the bag. Shut your mouth. Just shut your mouth. Brandon Tatum in particular was saying that Sesame Place has a policy that says you can't hug and you can't pick up children. And there was the excuse that they gave that the person playing Rosita was just simply waving off people who wanted her or this character to pick up their kids. Okay, yes, it's true. They do have a policy, but check this out. If they may have a policy, but in all these video clips, you see them. There's been clips that I've seen where they have actually hugged and picked up kids. So for those of you mealy mouth individuals out there saying y'all jump to conclusions, black folks, come on now, you're getting too emotional. This ain't a racial incident. This just this individual playing the character had to follow company policy. You can see videos after videos where these characters are hugging white kids, white girls, white boys, shaking their hands. There's even been video where they were picking them up. And now let me tell you, mealy mouth individuals out there on these YouTube streets, let me tell you, mealy mouth individuals out there who don't know what you're talking about. The only reason why Sesame Place had this policy put in place was because of the pandemic. Prior to the pandemic, they were hugging kids. They were kissing kids, you know, through the outfits that they got on, of course. They were shaking kids and embracing kids. It was only implemented because of the pandemic, because they did not want people, obviously, they didn't want this to spread. Listen to me, I'm challenging you out there in these YouTube streets. I'm challenging the uneducated, the unresearched, the people who jump out the window and say, well, this was just black people making up stories. Matter of fact, the lawyer for Miss Judy Brown has come out and said he's got lots of black people who have called him up and said they've had the same concerns. Y'all on these YouTube streets, when you crack open your YouTube channels, you should probably wait and let these stories flush out a little bit before you start jumping out the window saying things that you don't know what you're talking about.
Tell the truth.
Oh yeah, let me tell you what's going on out here. So one, yes, Sesame Place has a policy, but that policy was created due to the pandemic circumstance. That's why they weren't hugging, right? But then prior to that, they're still hugging and embracing kids, but they pretend they seem to be, not seem to be, because I saw it on video. They are embracing the white kids, other kids of other races, and then they're waving off black kids. You even had one of the Ernie characters. And everybody thinking like, oh, it ain't no big deal. He did slap that young lady in the face, or he did pop her, and I got the damn video. And she knew what was happening to her because she turned around to her family and said, he slapped me. There's a word called underestimate, undervalue, and marginalize. Our people being marginalized and underestimated. And I'm going to tell you right now, I think when this stuff happens to us, we should stop patronizing these places. Hell, we should have our own damn amusement parks. Call it Soul Town, whatever the hell we want to call it, Melanin Town, whatever the hell we want to call it. And I'm going to show you a news report where you still got black people. Something's wrong with us. Where we still they interviewed black people and they're still going to the park and saying, well, we aware of what happened. We don't like it, but, you know, I still want to take my kid to the park and give them my money. Let me show you something. Let me show you something here. Let's get at it. Right here. Let's read this, ladies and gentlemen. This is from Sesame Place in Philadelphia. We sincerely apologize to the family for their experience in our park. I hope you all can hear me. And I want to thank you, Sister Raw B Privilege, for the super chat. And I will play super chat music. Let me just read. This is very important that I read this. We sincerely apologize to the family for their experience at our park on Saturday. We know that it's not okay. Then they went on to say this stuff right here. The performers portraying the Rosita character has confirmed that no hand gestures seen several times in the video was not directed to any specific person. Rather, it was a response to a multiple request from someone in the crowd who asked Rosita to pick the child up or something of that nature. But guess what? This character did hug someone right after this character waved off the two young girls. Yes, that's what happened. But see, some of you individuals on the YouTube streets who were skeptical of this said, where's the rest of the video? The mother said that she was so shocked by what happened to her niece and her daughter. And by the way, her daughter, I believe, or the niece were there celebrating a birthday. So it was on her birthday that they got this kind of treatment. She says she stopped the video at that point in time. But however, there were other people that observed it as well. And we took some more video. So for people out there saying that this black woman, Judy Brown, purposely did not want to show all of it because she was trying to set something up for getting the bag. Well, wait a minute. You had other people who filmed what had happened from across the way. You're about to get that angle on this show today. Not only are you going to get the actual live video of it happening, but I'm going to also give you the still photos of this happening because I zoomed in on them. So for anybody out there will say, oh, see, that character Rosita didn't hug a white person. You're going to see it in still frame. Let me give you this one. To hold their child. So Rosita said to hold their child for a photo, which is not permitted. The Rosita performer did not intentionally ignore the girls and is devastated about the misunderstanding. We are taking action to do better. We are committed to make this right. You better make it right. You better pay the family money. These young ladies should never have to pay. If the mother is even thinking about bringing them back here, which I personally would not do.
Tell the truth.
They should get everything free, lifetime, free admission, free merch, free bags, got everything that Sesame Place got to offer. Free food, free every damn thing. That's if the family is even thinking about bringing them back to this place. Free everything is in order, and you're going to have to pay them restitution of some sort. And I don't care about anybody out there who think that, oh, I'm being hyperbolic. Oh, man, you getting too emotional about this info, man. Look, man, if this was my own child, I would have something to say about it. If it was my own child being treated like this, I would have to say something. And the reason why black people don't even believe black people. Black people don't even believe black people. What's going on, Sister Jean? We got Queen I Know I Am in the house. Yapple's in the house. Sister's in the house. Sir Hale is in the house. Thank you. Podcast. Sir Hale's in the house. Good brother there. Make sure y'all get over to his channel as well. Tiffany Jackson, Blue Devil is in the house. Thank you all for coming through. I know this subject would be up people's alley. I'm not finished. Folks. Yes. I'm gonna say what my man Sir Hale Speaks Network always says, that we should show a level of emotional maturity. What's going on, Gloria Murray? Yes, we should show a level of emotional maturity. I'm a passionate brother by nature. Most of y'all know that, but I'm very measured in the things that I say. All I'm simply saying is that when I show you a collage of videos that I'm about to show you before we have a panel discussion, it will let you know that there is something to this. Maybe you can make the argument, well, these characters, they can't see that well. I'm not going to lie. You can miss people. But the difference is in most of the videos that I'm going to show you, it was very obvious that these characters are purposely not avoiding the black children. I'm talking about in the videos that have been captured. that I'm going to present to you today, as well as I'm going to present to you the interview with her lawyer on CNN talking about the fact that there's many, many people that have also made these claims. Now, this can be a bad reflection on the Sesame Street brand. And the reason why it can be is because the people that they hire, ultimately, these people have to put their politics to the side, their whatever to the side. And we know that's difficult for people to do. When you're a racist or whatever you are, a bigot, you are what you are. But when you're working in a company, you have to properly vet people and make sure that they're following and that goal, which is to make everyone wanted and happy. Sesame Street was built on that. Let me let you know something, folks, that you may or may not be aware of. Let me let you know something. I'm going to put something on the screen and read this to you right here. And I appreciate everybody that's come over in the chat room. We got lovely people in the chat room, great people in the chat room. I want to read this to you. I'm going to go over, I told you I'm going deeper tonight. I'm going to go over the history of Sesame Street in a short summarize the history. How many of you out there realize that Sesame Street was originally made and designed and created for black kids in mind and kids in the inner city? It was actually designed for black and Puerto Rican kids in the New York area, particularly Harlem and the Bronx. Right here, black kids are being ignored as Sesame Place, but Sesame Street was originally created for them. Let's come on and take a history lesson here, because there's a lot of people who don't know the history. This is why it does matter how black kids were in that instance being ignored by these characters. And if, once again, we don't know who the people are that are in these outfits, black, white, or otherwise, but we do know that people bring their politics and all their attitudes to this. But let me just lay something out. Let me give you a breakdown in this county. Well, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. Let's go to the history first. Let me go into the history first, and then I'll give you some raw data here about this particular place. So when we look at Sesame Street and the history of Sesame Street, and we look at how it was created, why it was created, as I said before, Sesame Street came out of a movement in 1968. The 1968 Public Service Announcement Campaign calling on New York City residents to give a damn about children living in the blighted areas of Harlem. In an interview, this was people who gave their statements about how it was created. Now, when it first came on the scene, ladies and gentlemen, we have Michael Jackson here. You know, you've had some of the most greatest celebrities that have been on this show. Sesame Street first debuted, ladies and gentlemen, if you did not know this, in 1969. It was the realest black show on television. Now, a lot of you, when you look at Sesame Street, you say, okay, it's Sesame Street. It's a show that's about teaching kids education. What happened in New York is that there was an educational deficit for black kids and Puerto Rican kids in the New York area. And they wanted to come up with a show that would speak to the poverty, the miseducation, and the lack of an educational development for young black kids and Puerto Rican kids in the New York area. That's why they wanted a preschool style program. That's why they came up with it. And if you were around as long as I've been around, I grew up during those great years of Sesame Street as a Generation Xer. And when you look back at some of those old episodes, they did tend to have a lot of black kids on set, as you can see right here. That's Big Bird, the real Big Bird back in the day. And even on here, you have a black kid here. You have Puerto Rican kids, got one Asian kid right there. So it was a mixture of different races of people, what we would call diversity. If you believe in that, I really believe that we live in a solid bowl in America. We don't live in a melting pot. We're really in a solid bowl mixed up with many people who live in a place in different neighborhoods who don't really understand each other. We just kind of live here. We navigate through our neighborhoods. We kind of segregate ourselves to our culture, to our people, to our newer ways and our four ways. But when you look at Sesame Street, what they were trying to create on Sesame Street is that they made a show that was designed for kids that lived in the urban setting. And this show was really about promoting all that kids in the urban setting were going through. That's why you had beautiful actresses like Susan, Gordon. You had these kind of folks on the show. And every now and then on Sesame Street, they would introduce black puppets. But I'm going to tell you who was the first black puppet to be introduced on the show. Can you believe that? The first black puppet, even though they had black people, they had more black people on the show than they actually had black puppets. And of course, that's Oscar, Go Away. That's just how they were treating black people at that park at Go Away. So you got Oscar right there talking about Go Away. In 1969, when it really debuted, it wasn't really a black show, ladies and gentlemen. It was a soul and funk music that they would play on the show. How many of y'all living around long enough to remember the soul and funk music that was played on Sesame Street? I do. I remember. It had a black cast, and they spoke in a way that we could all relate to. Unfortunately, the integrated, diverse nature of Sesame Street in its early days, ladies and gentlemen, did not reach the southern parts of this country. You know why? This is America. So when people sit up here and tell me and tell you, oh, America isn't a racist country. America doesn't. No. America is a good country. Let's make America great again. When you hear that nonsense, and we all know the truth, don't we?
We will make America great again.
Right? Which is really a dog whistle for we're going to make America white again. The truth of the matter is when Sesame Street, that's Bill Cosby there. We know he's got some issues. Some of us agree and disagree about whether he did the things he did. But the fact of the matter is, look at the kids. They were representative of what the urban environment looked like in New York and in many urban environments across this country. When they displayed this show, most of the southern states rejected Sesame Street. How many of y'all knew that history? Put a 1 in the chat room. When they debuted Sesame Street, told y'all I'm going deeper and more deeper with this analysis of this situation. When they first debuted, because it's a shame that black kids are treated like they were in the park in terms of those videos that show that they're being overlooked. And it's not just what happened to the two young ladies, but there's other video footage I'm going to show you in just a moment. It's a shame because Sesame Street, which gave way to Sesame Park down the line, was built off of black children. It was built off of kids in the urban environment. So for us to have our kids go to a park, a theme park, and be treated potentially or ignored potentially when you built your name and your park in the theme off of an urban environment, which many black children, not to stereotype, but many black children come from the urban environment. Can I get an amen in the chat room? So because they had this type of show, which white America could not handle this look, white America could not handle the look of a show that had black people on it, Puerto Rican people on it, Native American looking, because they could not handle it. They said in the South, in Mississippi in particular, who led the way in this, they tuned the show off. It wasn't even aired in some of these southern states. Unfortunately, integrated and diverse nature of the show did not reach southern states. They even removed Sesame Street from its airways altogether because of growing complaints. They were complaining about seeing black people, Puerto Rican people, and other people like that on the show. But they mainly were complaining about black people because black people made up the biggest percentage on the show. See, this is America. This is what your America was built on.
We will make America great again.
Now, what happened when this whole thing happened, ladies and gentlemen, is that the state commission in Mississippi refused to air the show because of the integrated cast. The main characters, Gordon and Susan. There you see Gordon and Susan on there right now. She got that beautiful afro, okay? Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
The main characters, Gordon and Susan, were black as well as their adopted son. Remember, they had an adopted son. After they refused to air the show, it became a national disgrace. And the news in Mississippi, they decided to revise their decision. But in the beginning, they were rejecting the idea of a black show like this. It was a black show originally with puppets. I wonder how many of y'all knew that. Sesame Street is a byproduct, ladies and gentlemen, of something called the Great Society Agenda, a series of federal programs that carried the arbitrated goal of eliminating poverty and racial injustice. As part of this agenda, to teach poor Mexican American kids, black kids. This is the whole thing this show was about, but it was mainly geared in the beginning, heavily geared as it relates to black people. I hope you're all with me. I hope you're hearing what I'm saying. Now, let me give you this history right here. That's Roosevelt Franklin. How many of you know that this is the first black character? It's funny how they got more black people on the show than they had black puppets. Somebody make that make sense. How many of you all knew in the chat room and those listening that Roosevelt Franklin was the first black Muppet introduced on Sesame Street? How do you get to Sesame Street? Way to the Sesame Street. I remember that shit when I was a kid. Franklin was a controversial character on the show. People didn't know how to deal with Franklin's character. They were breaking a lot of ground on Sesame Street. This is why, in my premise here today, ladies and gentlemen, how many of y'all knew that Roosevelt was the first black Muppet on the Sesame Street? Come on now. How many?
Tell the truth.
We got Dr. Soap. We got Let Me See Your Transcript. Y'all coming over here strong today. RY's in the house. Bloodsport 11 is in the house. Daryl Long's in the house. 06 to you. Bloodsport, keeping an eye on your Bloodsport. You've been rocking with the channel pretty heavy. I'm looking at you for a particular potential mod up. Daryl Long as well. Deborah Guns, Golden Melanin, my man Maurice Delt, and we got my man J-Dog is rocking in the house hard. Marquise Hill, Dr. Soapy. I hope I'm saying that correct. We got Tree. We got TC. HBC Queen is in the house. Yeah. See, on the Information Man show, you're not only going to get the issues dealt with, but you're going to also get the education component to it. So Roosevelt was the first black character, and when his character was seen as very controversial because of the way he would talk and say things, and people didn't know how to deal with that. Okay? That's just the truth. Okay? Now, let me let y'all know something about this place called, real quick before we are going to have a panel discussion. And I got to admit that James Earl Jones looks real cool like here. I got to really admit that James Earl Jones looks real smooth on here with that hat and that suit. And he got the cool gloves on. You got Big Bird sitting behind him. I think that's Maria right there. I always like Maria. They had a great cast. I got to be honest. And James Earl Jones got the cool shades. I mean, I wish to look that cool when I get his age. But let's get at it. So once again, what happened to these young ladies was not just an isolated situation. But let me give you real quick about this place called Sesame Place. Let me let you know about the community. This is in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And it's in a place called Bucks County. And they've got racial problems in Bucks County, ladies and gentlemen. So it's not a coincidence because the people that work there, a lot of these people come from the community. They got problems in Bucks County. They got problems in their school district. They got a history of white supremacist groups becoming a major problem in their community. Bucks Human Relations Council has been addressing this issue. Do you know right now that in that community, you've got the ADL along with the NAACP, along with the Relations Council in this community trying to get a grip on their white supremacist propaganda that's been going on in this community. And then you wonder why this may be happening. It's the environment that is flooded with white supremacist ideology. Active to the top officials, all the way to the top officials of the Anti-Defamation League. That's the ADL. The Anti-Defamation League in Philadelphia region told an audience of about 50 during a May 25th presentation at the Free Library at Northampton Township. This is in this particular community, during a talk organized by the Buck County Human Relations Council. The ADL Philadelphia Region Director Andrew said that Pennsylvania, check this out, ladies and gentlemen. See, for you mealy-mouthed individuals out there that's doing all that talking about it ain't no racism, you didn't do your research. That's why you need an information man to get you some good right, get you some education here. Not playing with y'all. During the talking organization, the Buck County Human Resource Department and the director said that Pennsylvania has the highest level of white supremacist propaganda in the county. In 2021, see, this wasn't like 10 years ago, 20 years ago, because some of y'all out there going to say, well, when did this all happen? It's 2022. This was 2021. Ain't nothing changed, y'all. 2021, they said that there was about 473 incidents, including racist, anti-Semitic, and hateful messages that were put out. On top of that, the next highest state was Virginia at 375. So out of all the different states, Philadelphia, for some reason, has about 473 at that time. I bet you it's higher than that right now. This is just 1 year from today. White supremacy propaganda is being distributed and remains at historical levels across the United States in 2021 at this time, with a total of 4,851 cases of racism and other hateful messages reported by the Anti-Defamation League. This is being reported by their director who oversees the research of this. The NAACP is working with the Anti-Defamation League and others on ways to be more effective in addressing incidents of bullying and hate and intolerance at the schools. Also, I'm glad I gave you that part of this, ladies and gentlemen, because you may not have known this, but they've got racial problems in their school district in this county where Sesame Place is located. Yes, it is. There you go. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. So you manifest You manifest. You are what you are. What you see at the Sesame place is a manifestation of the people that live there, that work in there, who potentially could have various white supremacist ideology. They see black kids, they ignore them, or they push them over. I got video on that. Let you see a young black child being pushed over. Let me say something to you right now. Look, I believe that people have the right to be with who they want to be with. No matter what your sexuality is, that's your business. But I've got a problem with this. Sesame Street originally was a program that focused on educating our kids. But now they're pushing other propagandas like this. You know who this is. This is Billy Porter. He's got a right to be who he is. But we should not be. Sesame Street in its original conception was a show to educate black kids and other kids of other races. It was not a show to push people's sexual preferences, sexual ideologies, and what have you. But this is what they're showing our kids on Sesame Street. We've got men wearing dresses. He has a right to be who he wants to be, but should we be projecting this in the minds of young kids? Young children are watching this. Their brains are not fully developed, Sesame Street. This is what's going on Sesame Street today. You would never have seen this years ago because they were focused on educating like your A's and your A, B, C, D, and your math, your 5 + 5 = 10. They were focused on the things that kids need to know. They weren't trying to push people's preferences. I have a problem with this because, kid, your brain does not fully develop until after you're 25 years of age and you're still learning. Why are we trying to sexualize our kids? Why are we trying to push agendas on young kids, preschool age kids watching Sesame Street, who you're only going to confuse their young minds? You can be whoever you want to be with. You can say that you whatever sexuality to your to the highest mountain, but it should not be pushed and advertised to preschool age kids that are watching Sesame Street. I'm sorry, this is what I'm standing on, whether y'all like it or not. I'm sorry. You have a right to who you want to be with, but you don't have the right to try to shape the minds of young kids who don't need to be dealing with trying to ask their mothers and fathers at home, Mommy, Daddy, why does that man have a dress on? Our kids should not be asking us those questions after watching Sesame Street. I just had to throw that in there. And let me give a shout out to Kelly Rowland as well. Kelly Rowland brought this up in her social media. Now, she wasn't the one that originally made this go viral. I had said that before, but that was a mistake. It was other people on social media like ourselves that made this go viral, but she jumped on board. You know what I noticed, ladies and gentlemen? Ask yourself in the chat room, what's going on, Vaughn Bryant? Good to see you here. Golden Melanin, All Reliable. Good to see everybody over here. We've got a great audience today. How many of you are willing to keep it real with me? How many celebrities have you seen come out and speak up about this? This is why I got to give her her flowers. Because she said that if it had been her, she would have went buck crazy wild if it had been her two boys that got treated like that. So I got to give her some respect here, because we don't have too many celebrities willing to jump out that window and speak up. They're too busy about their endorsements and their image and all of that. But it's a damn shame that we don't have more of these celebrities. But then again, you can't expect them to speak up.
Tell the truth.
Because they're not dealing with the things that we deal with. They're living in a damn bubble. But thank you, Kelly Rowland. Now, let's go over here and let's get ready to listen to this video. And that means right now.
Being with us, Bryn walked us right up until the moment of that denial from the character. Tell us what happened, and when that moment happened, what went through your mind?
One, I couldn't believe that it happened. It's a child theme park. The kids are supposed to be, happy and, acknowledged and greeted and having a good time. So the fact that this even happened, the fact that this is even going to be a core memory for them when it comes to Sesame Place is actually disgusting and unbelievable to me. I, of course, didn't expect that to happen as I'm recording. I'm just trying to get their reactions because as everyone can see, they're so excited. So to see the family next to me be acknowledged and to have them be ignored and then the family right next to us be acknowledged, at that point, I have already stopped the video. It was heartbreaking. And in the video, you can also see how sad the children are.
Yeah. You say that, and we've talked around it, I want to be explicit here. You believe that whomever's in that costume did not high-five your daughter and niece, didn't hug Skylar and Nyla because they're little black girls.
Yes, because as you can see, now that I spoke up and released my video, now there's multiple parents who have similar videos with that character doing the same thing to the same race of children. So for me, that's not a coincidence at all. It's absolutely disgusting, and I do feel like the organization honestly really and truly needs to accept accountability.
Jody, you see they're crestfallen and disappointed after the Rosita character walks by. Did they say anything to you about that moment?
The character itself?
No, the girls.
The know-him picture. The girls, in that moment, they're just, sad, like, how come he didn't, give me a high five? What did we do? As you can see, my niece is still reaching out for him. So in that moment, you want to console the children to tell them, like, it's okay, like, you didn't do anything wrong. Some people are just not good people, but for every bad person, there's going to be 100 more good people, and love is always going to, outweigh hate. But I shouldn't have these conversations with 2 6-year-old children. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Jody, let me turn to your attorney now, B. Ivory Lamar. First, there is an attorney as part of this conversation. Are you planning to file suit, B. Ivory?
That is on the table. We would, hopefully intend to work on resolving this matter short of litigation. I mean, the family is very clear with their expectations. They want a formal apology. They want the individual to be terminated. And thirdly, this mental anguish that has been perpetuated upon these young 6-year-old girls is something that should be addressed also by the theme park. They went to this park on Saturday with the expectation of having a good time, enjoying themselves. They were very fond of those Sesame Park characters. And to leave out that park heartbroken, with their hearts shattered, is something that this theme park should take responsibility for. It has been echoed across this country from families that have been contacting my office. Phone is ringing off the hook with other families with videos showing similar outrageous, egregious conduct that this theme park has put upon these families. This is absurd, and this theme park needs to take accountability immediately.
Jody, has the park reached out to you? We read their statements. Have you heard from Sesame Place?
When I first posted the picture the following day, they sent me a message to call to speak to a manager. She was supposed to call me back, and I haven't received a phone call back since the whole situation went viral.
And what do you make of their explanation that the person in the suit was not responding to the girls? They were responding to someone in the crowd who wanted them to hold a baby, and that's against the policy of the park.
In the video, you can clearly see the character looking at the children and saying no. I think that was just an excuse, damage control, because of the severity of where they see the video was going. But you can clearly see in the video that he looked directly at the children and said no. So I feel like that was an excuse, and instead of taking accountability, they were trying to, sweep the situation under the rug.
All right, everybody in the chat room, we got creative. Thank you, sister. Thank you, anybody that super chatted. Anybody that's new to the channel, thank you for coming over. You don't know how much I appreciate you all coming over here each week and participating. And by the way, we are going to complete the show that we did about the comedians. Check this out. Somebody put a Facebook post out where they were kind of ranking the comedians. Do you know that majority of the comedians, except for Tony Rock, who I didn't put out there, but I'll put him out there and see if y'all want to vote him on for next time. But every single person that we voted to be in the top, to be on the list for our next show, that list had everyone. So you all were accurate to a T. So the next show that we do, we're going to actually rank them 1 through 20. We're going to go from the top to the least. That will be a show we'll do very soon. So that show will still happen. But let me read this before your eyes right here. It says here, we will conduct, and make sure when you have a chance, ladies and gentlemen, that you share this video in all of your social media, your community tabs, and all that good stuff as well. Because I don't think anybody in terms of social media has given you this type of analysis as it relates to this issue on this level. It says here, we will conduct training for our employees so they better understand and recognize and deliver inclusive, equitable, entertaining experience to our guests. Okay, but see, this is what Sister Judy, if I'm saying her name correct, Miss Brown said, that originally they tried to sweep it under the rug, and then once it came out that there's some serious problems at Sesame Place, then all of a sudden they're talking all this, we better make our employees do what they're supposed to do. I'm going to show you why, because I got a video that came out, a news clip that gives you the other angle. But before I do that, let's go over here and show the original video clip. Here we go. So right there, you see the young ladies right there being pushed off. It's going to repeat again. They're being sort of ignored. Now, I said this in my other video. You can see right here. I'm going to stop it. There go. That's a white kid's hand. That's a white kid's hand. I want to kind of slow this down. Right there. See, white kid's hand. And Brandon Tatum on YouTube says that that was a brown kid's hand. He was trying to make the argument that, see, there's no racism here. There's no ignoring of black kids because, see, he touched the hands of someone that's a brown kid. That kid was white. He didn't do his proper due diligence. He also had the audacity to say that she purposely only recorded 9 minutes of this when she said that she stopped recording because she was shocked. But then there's other recordings, ladies and gentlemen, that show from the other side that after he did not even shake their hand, he went over and hugged another person. See, he gives the lady a high five, tells the kids no. The argument is that, well, somebody was telling me to pick their kids up. These kids weren't asking to be picked up. They simply just wanted to get a little attention. Now, maybe the niece might have wanted to be picked up. Who knows? But for the most part, this person playing this character could have at least given them a high five like he gave the other two a high five. He gave the white little boy a high five. As you see right there, he gives the lady a high five, but he totally ignores them, and they're in his face. 2 kids. How can you not see 2 kids trying to get a little attention, right? And so people like Brandon Tatum on YouTube is saying that, oh, this lady is trying to set this up for a bag. Oh, this is only 9 minutes. Where are the rest of the video? You have other idiots on YouTube saying the same thing. You got it wrong. See, over here, you're going to get the truth, because now I'm going to show you the other video, and now you're going to get that truth, whether you like it or not. For you naysayers, you're going to get that truth in just one moment.
You know that I want to be good for you.
Thank you for that super chat.
You know that I want to be good for you.
This is for everybody that super chatted me. Thank you.
Tell them run it off.
Thank you for the super chat.
I wake up, flex, thumb down now. Check, no drip, this wet. Tell them run it off. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck, but first die. Stretch, tell them run it off. I wake up, flex, thumb down now. Check, no drip, this wet. Tell them run it off. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck, but first die. Stretch, tell them run it off. 9 out of 10 roll through my hands, I'm by my lonely. Turned to a savage, now my baby wants to hold me. I love my fans, don't need no friends, I got my homies. Thought I could trust you, I find out you tried to zone me. I'm number one up on that court, I'm nigga good.
Oh, yes, Queen. I know I am putting you on the board through my other message board that I have here. We have no friends, yes, and we got the lovely, there we are, Golden Melanin's in the house there, speaking the truth. And we have Miss Empress Queen in the house saying what's up to everybody. Bonnie Rose is in the house. Gloria Murray, Brother Yalpo, who I've been rocking with pretty heavily. He says, you're talking about people who used to throw our babies to alligators and would still do it if they could get away with it. Yes. That is true. That is the history of this country. And then we have the lovely, and I got to say, this sister right here, Life with Magical Journey, is something else. Y'all got to check out her channel. Very powerful. Definitely got to get you on the program. Very powerful sister here. Very positive. Deborah Guns. We got a lot of great people that I just want to give some acknowledgement right now. And anybody that I missed, we got the Big Bad Bull in the house. Yeah. Big Bad Bull's been rocking with me too. I'm checking you out, brother. Thank you for coming over. RY. Anybody else that I might have missed, don't worry, because, I'm going to call people out when I get more opportunity. So now let's get to the other area, because I want to do this panel discussion. So I need to move forward. And so right there, you see all of this, right? Now, check this out. Here goes a new video that should shut some mouths around here. Shut your mouth. Here we go.
Look at what happened from another angle, and it doesn't look good for Sesame Place. Our Jeff Cole joining us live now. And Jeff, this video shows something went terribly wrong that day at the park.
Yeah, I would guess for the perspective of both the family and Sesame Place, both now would agree that something did go terribly wrong. Certainly the video seems to cast real doubt on an early explanation by Sesame Place when they tried to describe what had happened here last Saturday. A steady flow of visitors entered Sesame Place nearly a week after video of the apparent snubbing of two black children emerged, prompting claims of racism.
My kid's gonna enjoy this whether these people don't want to interact with them. It's bothering, but I'm still gonna come,
Why? Wait a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure y'all check out the Created channel too. Great channel. Gloria Murray's in the house. Everybody's in the house. This is a problem. You're going to hear black people on here still say, well, what happened was terrible. You heard that sister say that no matter what, it's not going to keep her kids from having a good time. This is the question. What is wrong with us? Why would you want to patronize, and give money to a place where that treatment took place? Now, maybe people are thinking that, okay, it wasn't my kids, it was her kids or his kids, and it ain't me. Because a lot of times we think as individuals, we figure that just happened to them, but it ain't gonna happen to me. Now, maybe I'm just saying something that don't make sense to people, but why do we as a people operate off a code? We're totally off code. Why would you want to patronize any place and give them your hard-earned money and bring your kids to a place where they potentially could ignore your kid and treat your kid poorly? She said out of her mouth right there, well, even if they're not going to give my kid any kind of attention, which is what they're supposed to do, we're still going to go here and have a good time. Yeah, you should still go out into the world and hold your head up high and have a good time. But why would you want to give your money to a place where this is happening? I just don't understand some of our people. And we got my man in the house. If I can make out the name, we got my man Music, Music Man 1982. Welcome. Let me tell you why that's bullshit is in the house. It's a funny name. Why would you even want to give them your money? So what you have right here, I'm going to finish the video out, is you have basically Sesame Place was busted. there's another video angle that shows that the sister was correct. For you mush mouth individuals out there, she was correct. Rosita character was caught hugging a white woman or another person after the kids were asking to get a high five. And that Rosita character lied and said that this was policy of the park, that we don't hug anybody and pick up any kids. But yet the Rosita character did embrace someone. Let's go back to this. And you're going to hear more black people talk like they're on a slave plantation. Here we go.
Bothering, but I'm still gonna come, you know.
The controversy wasn't enough to keep some families away, but the image of Sesame character Rosita waving off the 6-year-old girls has taken hold.
I saw a TikTok video where one of the characters skipped the black person.
What did you think, honey?
I think that is very disrespectful and that is racist.
Wait a minute. Why is it that a child has more common sense than an adult? That little girl, the little black girl there, she said, I found it very disrespectful and that it's racist. Now, of course, she's at the park. Her parents probably brought her to the park. So, you know, but the point is that she had enough sense and enough intelligence as a little black girl to know that it was racism. But you don't hear any of the black people in this clip saying, yeah, this is racism. Why is it a young black girl has enough sense at her precious age? She has enough sense to call it what it is, but we got adults out here making excuses. We got people making excuses on YouTube, making excuses off of YouTube and any of these social medias, but we got kids that can call it for what it is. And you know the thing about children that's different than adults is that children are honest.
Tell the truth.
They don't have no filter. They tell you just how they feel. It's only until we become adults and we get socialized, ladies and gentlemen, that we begin to develop filters and defense mechanisms and all this other BS. But she's talking honest. My God. Let's get back to it. My God.
Park management argued Sunday the costumed worker was not rejecting the girls, but refusing parents' requests to hold other kids for photos. But video released by the family's lawyer appears to show no one near the children, and Rosita immediately greets a white child. In a Wednesday press conference in Manhattan, the family's attorney warned he had the video.
We also can prove that the first statement that this company released was completely bogus.
Sesame Place did not immediately respond to a request for comment, but in a detailed statement Thursday, it wrote, "We take this extremely seriously. We are heartbroken by what these young girls and this family experienced in our park. It is antithetical to our values, principles, and purpose." Why is it terrible?
Because it's racist, yes.
But you came here today.
Well, my daughter's birthday is here. Like, I'm going to come.
Oh, see what I mean, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, see what I mean. Where is my where is my Sir Hale special effect here? Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, this show's about to take a turn.
She says that it's racist, just like the child said. But she smiles after saying that, yeah, it's racist. And she smiles and says, well, it's my daughter's birthday. You mean to tell me you don't have another place you could take your daughter to? Like maybe have a birthday party for her? All that money you spending at this overpriced park, you could have a birthday party. You could have taken her somewhere else. You could have had a more intimate birthday party for her. Oh, but it's my daughter's birthday. As if Sesame Park is the only place. Now, I get it. How do you tell your kids who want to go to Sesame Place, Mommy, Daddy, I want to go? How do you tell them, And why do you have to tell them these incidents? Because it's reality, right? But it's something that black people in America, and I'm talking about black people who understand this, because we got black people in this country, but that don't mean that every person that look like you is your kinfolk, is your real folk, okay? I'm talking about black people in this country who understand these dynamics in America. Not people that's Johnny come lately to this, but those of us born here in this country who understand these dynamics very well as it relates to American society. We got to tell our kids this type of nonsense to prepare them for the bullshit. Now, she probably didn't want to disappoint. I know I'm making excuses for them. Maybe they just didn't want to have to disappoint their kids because of this happening, and they didn't want to even talk to their kids about it. But I still think as a people, we got to be on code. When they see that we're not even on code, then they can do whatever they want to us. See, let's keep it real. If you go out here in this world and you disrespect someone that's Jewish or someone of another group, oh, they'll make you pay. They'll make you pay. Let's go back to it.
Protest is planned for the park on Saturday, while some questioned coming here today.
Well, I think it's pretty disheartening. I'm kind of confused about the situation, and it just makes me really sad. But here I am today, so I know that's not the best look.
Meanwhile, the attorney for the family continues to apply pressure. He's called now for another press conference tomorrow in Manhattan. By his side tomorrow now will be famed civil rights attorney Ben Crump.
Oh, my God.
Tell the truth.
Oh, my God.
Information is power.
Is it me? Is it just me, ladies and gentlemen in the chat room? Everybody that's here, I love you all for being here and supporting this today. Is it me, or is it that Benjamin Crump is a ambulance chaser? Why is it that every time something happens, he's the only civil rights lawyer that jumps out of the window? Do we have other civil rights lawyers that can handle cases? She has a lawyer. I know he's considered high profile now, but Benjamin Crump is a dude that cuts deals. He's not a trial lawyer. He cuts deals. He gets on the media and gets to talking and bumping his gums, and he sounds like he has jawbreakers or marbles in his mouth. He's not the best well-spoken attorney. He always kind of have a look to his face like he had a bad taste of oatmeal in the morning. Now, he's an attorney. He should be given all respect given to him. But I'm just saying, black folks in the chat room, can somebody tell me, do we have other civil rights lawyers, men or women, who are great lawyers besides just Benjamin Crump? Do we? Can somebody please, thank you for the super chat, my brother Sir Hale Speaks Network. Make sure, hey, somebody, if you can, drop the man's link to his channel, Sir Hale Speaks Network. If one of the mods can drop a link to his channel. Remember, we had him over here a few weeks back, and by the way, he's coming back to the channel so we can continue the discussion that we had, which was a great discussion. Got a lot of views on the video, which we appreciate from all of you out there. But Sir Hale, brother, thank you. And as a result of that, we're going to have to give you some super chat love.
Time to run it off. I wake up. Yeah. I wake up, flex, I'm down that check. No drip this. Tell them run it off. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it off. I wake up, flex, I'm down that check. No drip this. Tell them run it off. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it off. 9 out of 10 roll through my hands, I'm by my lonely. turned to a savage, now my baby wants to hold me. I love my fans, don't need no friends, I got my homies. Thought I could trust you, I find out you tried to zone me. I'm number one up on that court, I'm Nick McGrady. The first one in, the last one out, can't call me lazy. Put in my hours, send the invoice and they pay me. I need 6 rings like MJ and Tom Brady. I wake up, flex, thumb down that check. No drip this, wet. Tell them run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck, but first I.
All right, everybody, peace. All right, everybody, thank you. Sir Hell, thank you for the super chat, brother. I really appreciate your support. I definitely, if you want to know where I hang out at from time to time, you can find me on Sir Hell's show, either in the chat room listening to programs or on the panel from occasionally. You can also find me on Black Man Unfiltered's program, occasionally on the panel or in the chat room giving comments. That's where I hang out at a lot of the times during the week because they have informative, intelligent conversation between black men and black women. They also have barbershop talk where you have all black men together and speaking the way we speak when we're in the barbershop. So fantastic. So what I want to do right now before convening a panel discussion is let you see something real quick, a few slides that I prepared for you to look at. So people say this is an isolated incident. Why are you just concerned about, why are you making a lot of noise over what happened to these 2 young ladies right here? Come on, man. It's just an isolated incident. No, it's not. For those of you out there who think that there's a lie about when this individual character walked away from the girls, let me show you a little in close screen. Check this out right here, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the truth. There's the 2 girls right there. He walked past the 2 girls. This is the photo. Look at it closely. He walked past the 2 girls and he went over to another young lady. You see right here, that's a white lady. And he walked into her close. Lied and said that it's the policy of the park, which it is the policy because of the pandemic. But this individual character, whoever the person was playing in this costume, was not following the company's policy. Went over to this person and embraced them, got close to them while walking away from the girls who had both their hands out like this. All right. And then went right over here to this person to embrace them. And then here's another still photo. Not only did they embrace him, but this individual who played this character, and I don't care if they're black or white, I'm going to say it again for the mealy mouth individuals out there. Even if this is a black person in this costume and not a white person, you got black people who hate self and kind. Not everybody that's your skin folk is your kinfolk.
Tell the truth.
Right? So right here, you see the photo where he's moving in, and then here's the completed motion. Boom. Came closer to that person. Was first right here. Look at the still picture. Come closer. If you're watching this at home on your cell phone, your tablets, whatever you got at home, come closer to the screen. Right there, there's a white person there. The little girls are standing there. Never gave them any attention. Went over to this person as the mother said, Judy Brown said, and she said that she stopped recording because she was shocked at what happened to them from this particular situation right here.
Tell the truth.
So that happened right there. You see, high-fiving a white lady, also high-fived a child. Let's see right there. Look for the arm of the child, a little kid. There it is. But walked past 2 black girls that was clearly, so that crap about, oh, I can't see. They can't see in a costume. That's BS. They could see everybody else but the 2 young black girls. Here's the still picture coming in closer to a white person, either a white adolescent or something of that nature. It doesn't, okay, coming closer to them. Right there to begin to give him a hug. And then right here is the other still picture. Continue to go forward towards them, but told the 2 black girls, nah. Then they claim, then this individual claimed to be waving off people who wanted their kid to be held. If that was true, why didn't those people come over towards them on this picture? This is the angle of what happened this over that weekend. That angle is what we can see from this angle, and this is the angle from someone who filmed this from across there, as you see right there and right here. This is not a just a coincidence, folks. Let me show you why it's not a coincidence, because let me show you a collage of video that you need to see, ladies and gentlemen.
Tell the truth.
The Information Man Experience. Watch these videos. You see right there? I need you all to watch these videos intently before we have a panel. Watch them.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth. Information is power.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
She couldn't believe that he walked away like that. That's what she was saying. This is the one when the girl got slapped. You'll see. Watch.
Tell the truth.
Oh, right there. Watch it again. Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
Here we go.
Information is power. You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel. Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
They couldn't believe that he walked away from him. This is the one right here. 1, 2, 3. Right there. Watch this again. Watch it. Hugs the white kid. Walks away. And the mother said, "Get your ass over here and hug my son."
Information
Watch it again.
is power.
Tell the truth.
Information is power.
Tell the truth.
You are listening to information. Please make sure to subscribe to this channel.
Tell the truth.
Information is power.
Tell the truth.
All right there, ladies and gentlemen. So those are various videos involving Sesame Place and Sesame Place or Sesame Street type characters. Okay, those are videos, and the lawyer for Miss Brown said that there are many, many more families out there that have ringed his phone off the hook. So what I'm saying to you in a nutshell, that this is not an isolated situation. This has been something that's been happening. And of course, we don't know the people that are in these outfits and these suits and what have you, but you would think that if you're going to play a character, and that means that requires you to greet many, many people and to hug people when they can hug people, or at least shake people's hands. That's at the very minimum, shake people's hands, because the job is to make kids happy, make them feel good, make them walk away from the theme park feeling good about their experience. Now, if you don't like having to interact with different people in the public out there in Bucks County, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, then maybe you should not be taking on jobs like this where you have to deal with the public. You need to go work in some other aspect. If you don't like, if you say that the outfit that you're wearing, the character's outfit is hot for you, then maybe you should not do that type of job, because it requires you to be on at all times and to greet people, or don't do the job. Let me also give you some statistical numbers about this particular county where Sesame Park is located, because nobody's giving you this kind of information. In terms of the racial breakdown, like I said to you earlier in this show, they have a racial white supremacist element in that county. The Anti-Defamation League, along with the NAACP, they've been trying to fight this. They've been trying to deal with these problems. They've got racial strife in their schools in this county. Let me break down the racial breakdown. In this particular county in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the county, Bucks County, you got 85.70% made up of mostly white people. Asian people make up about 4.81%. Okay. Black people, a smaller percentage, are made up at about 3.89%. So black people are 3.89% of the population, very small population. Okay. And then they get into this whole thing about two or more races at 3.398%. American Indians and Alaska Natives are at 0.9%. They're basically unexistent there. This is the problem. This is the issue. The bottom line is black children, no kid should be treated like this. I'll be honest with you, but black children should especially not be treated like this, because Sesame Street built their success and their legacy off the backs of black children and the black urban experience. When I talk to you about the history of Sesame Street, how it started, it was meant to be a black show based in Harlem and the Bronx. And they used when you look at Sesame Street in the background with the brownstone homes, because they were using the brownstones that were in Harlem. They wanted to give you the urban look of black communities that black people lived in Harlem. So they got their success, and you had many black celebrities that came on Sesame Street and put Sesame Street on the pedestal. Of course, Sesame Street got picked up by by PBS eventually, right? Remember I told you, and part of the history is that when it went nationwide, you had southern states like Mississippi that rejected the idea of a TV show, educational show for children that was very diverse. They didn't want to see that. Sesame Street used the black experience and the black background, the drop back of black people to promote their show, which is why it's become the company it is today, to be able to create a theme park. So the last damn people that they should be ignoring, or they should be reminding the people who wear the costumes, that if you're not gonna shake this person's hand, then you shouldn't be shaking everybody. You shouldn't turn around if we tell you not to hug anybody and pick children up because we don't want the COVID situation. If you're gonna tell your workers to not do that, then they should treat everybody the same. How are you gonna turn around and say that's your policy, but then as I showed you on those still pictures, this person walked right up past these kids and hugged another child or one, whoever the hell they were a white person, hugged them, came close to them, and just brushed these two lovely girls off. And they were there to celebrate a birthday celebration. This is the shame of it all, ladies and gentlemen. This is the shame of it all. Now, let's get ready to have a panel discussion for a short amount of time. I want to get your thoughts in the chat room. I want to thank you. Make sure you share this video on your social media. Tell people about the show, what I'm doing over here. I try my best not only to talk about topics, but if I can give you some deeper analysis and insight into it. I bet a lot of you didn't know that Sesame Street was originally meant to be a black show with funk music in the beginning. And people rejected that, and then they had to modify it a little bit. I bet a lot of you didn't know about that. Maybe some of you did know about that. If you did know that, put a 1 in the chat room. I'm going to drop a link for those who want to come up on the panel and have the discussion about this today for the time that I have left to continue this show. And I appreciate all of you in the chat room. All of you in there, Fashion for Life, RY, Guy Nollywood, Ivan, Old Reliable, Queen I Know I Am, all of you that have come over, Golden Melanin, everyone that's come in, Queen Sug is in the house, Jean Gray is in the house, thank you. Came over from my man, Max World TV, great brother there. We got Mrs. V who's in the house. We got my Fred brother, Nagoon 11, all right, brother, 06. Let me go ahead and so this, I'm just gonna say this, because you know I have a very fair show over here. I don't have a problem with anybody who has a difference of opinion. I'm not going to come down on people and be demonstrative if you have a different opinion. But however, make sure that if you do have a different opinion that you have facts to back it up. Because right now, it's already been put out there that Sesame Place is in trouble because they have other video footage that shows that Mrs. Judy Brown was correct. You got people that was trying to demonize this sister and claiming that she's trying to destroy a national institution, which is Sesame Street, which was originally built off the backs of black folks. Let's keep that damn real, okay? And that's not the case, ladies and gentlemen. So let's come up here and have the discussion, shall we? Let me put I'm gonna put the link in here. And after I put that link in there, we're going to, let me see what I'm going to do here. What's going on here? Pop this back up here. There we go. I'm going to put that link in there. And then what I'm going to do is we're going to play a little bit of music while I wait for people to come upstairs and all that good stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, for the sake of the show, let's put the lovely Gordon, let's put these lovely people in here and let's make it do what we can make it do and go from there. Here we go. Peace, everybody.
Tell the truth.
Thank you for the super chat.
I want to thank the created for sending me a Cash App, $5 Cash App. I appreciate that, my sister. Peace to you. If you're still in the chat room. Okay. So we got people coming on board now. We've got great folks here. I see we got my man Yusef Ratchet today. We got the Empress Queen on here. We got Back to the Basics. I'm glad to see you here. We got Guy Nollywood Jr. It's been a minute since you've been on. Oh, he popped off, but hopefully he'll be back. You know how technology can be, folks. And let's get into it. You've seen, I hope, Brother Yusef Ratchet today, I hope you did have a chance to see at least a good portion of my analysis, what I put out there, because there was another video that the news put out there from another angle that showed that particular person that played that character did go over and hug or touch another person, which was out of the policy that they tried to lean on. And that's why they're suing, because they've got other people providing them other footage. And we have a lot of mealy mouth individuals who've been running their mouth saying that, oh, this woman is just looking to grab a bag. Where's the rest of the video? And now we've got video that confirms what she said out of her mouth. She got a lawyer. Of course, we've got Benjamin chasing the ambulance Crump, who's come on board. But it is what it is. And let me bring Brother Guy Nollywood back in. And I'm glad you're here. We haven't come together like this in quite some time. I want to thank everybody in the chat room that's been bearing with the program. But I had to get through all of that because I had a point to make. And from there, I rendered the mic. And Back to the Basics, you actually came up first. So I'm going to go in order. How are you doing, by the way?
Hello. How's everybody doing?
Doing fine. Well, I'm doing fine. I hope everybody else on the panel is doing fine.
Hello.
All right. Back to the Basics. I want to hear what you have to say. And like I said before, I'm not afraid. Anybody who wants to have a difference of opinion, you can have a difference of opinion, but you got to have some damn facts, too, to go with that difference of opinion. All right, back to the basics. What's your thoughts?
Oh, this is a damn shame. I was so mad. I got news. Just a short story. I got news I'm going to be an auntie. And as soon as I seen this video, I said, I know there ain't no way.
Mm-hmm.
No way. That I would have just stood there and been cool. I seen the one mother, she was about to give the character the business.
Mm-hmm.
But he ended up hugging her son, and then she took her son and walked off, and I don't blame her. I really don't blame her at all. And it's a shame, like you said, that the young girl she told the truth. She said because it's racism, and that's what I love about it. Because this generation alpha that's coming, they're recognizing and seeing very early, and that's why you have such a push against CRT, or should I say our history, because that CRT that was just created to demonize our history as far as Black history. But you see this generation alpha that's coming up, they know exactly what's up, and you know what really has the white supremacists really afraid is that it's not just our babies, it's theirs too. I drive for Amazon, and I go in some areas, and their kids, like whenever they see my natural hair and everything, they'll come right up to me. But I see that their parents and their grandparents, they be looking all sideways, and I said, yep, because their time is almost up. Their time's almost up. They see exactly what's going on, because it's not just our babies, it's theirs too.
Well, let me say this. This is for everybody on the panel and those in the chat room, and I'll be pulling up people's comments from the chat room. This is just for the sake of the conversation. Do you think this is just the reality is that Black people, just for the sake of the conversation, is it that Black people that we're just too emotional and that we run with everything too quickly? We see something that happens and we're so quick to say that it's a racial incident versus it just being a misunderstanding. And that's what the park tried to push out there, which I didn't believe any of that crap, because after examining many, many other videos, out there, I said, man, this runs a little bit deeper than just what happened to those two young girls, should I say, the proper thing to say. But is it just a case that, because someone's going to say this, is it just a case that we're just too emotional as black people and we just run for the first racial thing that we suspect? What do you all think about that?
Not at all. I mean, what do you expect? I mean, if you want people to stop being victims, then stop victimizing them. Black people will come up off of y'all necks when you stop being racist. And really all we're doing is trying to get a little bit of social change. People not even really doing what could be done, and we're nothing like them, because if we were, a lot of things would have ended in style. You feel me? From slavery would have ended better, because we would have went on out fighting for ours like any other group of people. Not to say that there wasn't any resistance, because the revolution is what people need to realize always needs to live on. Everybody always trying to keep the oppression alive, and not trying to keep the revolution alive. Alongside of every oppression is always a revolution, and vice versa. So it's always about where your interests lie in your community. And I don't think black people go far and hard out enough when it comes down to racism.
Well, let me ask this question. This is for everybody in the chat room as well. The one video, I hope you did see this too. The one video that I showed where they kind of bust them out in terms of showing that Sesame Place had it all wrong. You had them interviewing a few black people who were getting ready to go in the park with their kids. And one lady acknowledged that it was racism, but she said, but it's my daughter's birthday. The other young sister said that, they're mistreating people, but, even if they don't want to, treat my child with respect, we're going to still go in here and have fun. And as an older brother here, I've got problems with that, because if I go somewhere with my child and we are mistreated, I'm never going to spend one red, dime, nickel, penny, quarter in that place again. Never.
Facts. Exactly.
I know that's right. I'm not.
Can I say one last thing too about that? It's like we have to start letting our kids witness us fighting for what's right. You see, because they see a lot of, oh well, it's this and this, but it's their birthday, and oh, Santa is alive, but oh, they're just children, and all these things. We have to start letting our children go through this, because they go through enough trauma already. At least make sure that it's reconditioning them to get out of that and to be the warriors of the future, because that's our best hope. So when kids go through stuff and it's traumatizing as a child, as opposed to, well, they're going to remember it anyway. They were being this way to us because we were black at the playground, but we still got to play. No, let that go ahead and shatter the whole dream, but let them see you being the hero. You see, because a lot of times our kids are smarter than us, and they see and they wonder why we don't fight against stuff. We let them be okay with the oppression, bring and birth them into a culture where we are revolutionary and against all of that stuff. So that even though it's circles, like they will say, oh, this happened because of black on black crime, or a drive-by shooting, or a cop did this, and they'll put somebody on a t-shirt, and a young child to have to grieve and understand that. You can't just let them know Santa fell off the roof. It makes sense. He was in a sled, and so it's a lot of different things that we could be doing to be gaining the authority over our culture and our children's mind conditioning.
Let me read a couple of statements in the chat room. We've got Frank Stone Rock says, we can only be upset with ourselves. The pain it is self-inflicted. Real segregation made our community strong because we had no choice. Remember, no choice. I would say facts on that.
Tell the truth.
Let me see. Tiffany Jackson says, it's time to stand up, black people collectively. Daryl Long says he agrees. Let me see. They should see us stand up for what's right. Yeah, I think, see, the thing is this, we're in a world of trouble as a people because we just have not figured out that we need to be on code. They do things to us and we still have this mentality where we want white society to love us. So they treat us poorly, treat our kids poorly at an amusement park, and then we still want to go back and think, and this is our problem, well, it happened to that black person, but it ain't gonna happen to me. If we thought more collectively, what happens to one can happen to me, and therefore, if you do that to my brother and sister, then you ain't getting money from me. You ain't getting money from me. I didn't mean to make that rhyme, but it rhymed, okay? You're not getting any damn money from me. Now, check this out. and I said this early in the show, Jewish people, if you talk mad crap about any of their people or mistreat them in any establishment, they come together in code, no matter what their politics is, and they'll make you pay. They'll make you pay. Black people, we the only ones running around here talking about, well, you know, it's my daughter's, my son's birthday. Even though they racist in there, I'm still going to go up in there. Crazy. Go ahead, Brother Guy Nolly Wood Jr. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm honored to be on your show. I wanted to say hello to the chat. Shout out to you, Information Man. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think what happened is that our people just got comfortable of being mistreated. They just got comfortable. And like I said, we don't have a code. We don't even respect our ancestors. Our ancestors fought and died just for us to continue being mistreated. Where's our dignity? You see what I'm saying? We just let things happen, and then we just like, oh well, you know. And like I said, they just want to feel. They still want to force themselves into white society instead of just having our own. You know, I'm gonna be honest with you. You're right, and I'm gonna be honest. I did not know. I mean, all my life I've seen Sesame Street, and I've seen the brownstones and stuff like that, and I'm like, wow, it looks so much like Harlem, like, you know what I'm saying? So we should run Sesame Street. You know what I'm saying? We should own it because it came from us anyway.
It came from us anyway. They used our kids on those shows back in the day. They took black culture. They took all type of culture that you have in New York, and they packaged it into a educational show, which was fantastic, by the way. But there would not be a Sesame Place. They would not be this huge corporation that they've become to be able to be worldwide like they are recognized if it had not begun in those little baby steps when they were trying to push a black cultural educational program. That's what it really was.
That's facts.
And the country at that time wasn't ready for it. So therefore, the last group of kids that should be disrespected are our kids.
Right.
Can I get an amen on that?
Tell the truth.
Amen.
Amen.
But yeah, you're absolutely right. And I just think that it should be a class. We don't, like I said, we don't know who's in those costumes, and that's what's so dangerous about it. You know, and it's when I saw those our babies being mistreated, it just brought tears to my eyes, man, because I was like, that's our babies. And it should be where, like, even when you saw the mother forcing the one of the characters to hug she should have even did that. She should have just said, you know what, we're going.
Right. But you know, I think at the end of the day, we want to be treated fairly. And when you treat us unfairly, we're going to let you, that's just the kind of people we are. We're going to let you know about it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We're going to let you know about it. But then this is the thing. I want everybody to leave. If you don't leave with anything today, leave with this right here. People on the other side of this argument, this equation, they're saying, well, what if it's a black person in the outfit? As if they got you now. It's like, I got you. It's a black person. I don't care, because we got black folks who hate self in kind.
Tell the truth.
we got black folks who push white supremacy. So if it's a black person, it still remains the same BS garbage, because this is a black person trying to put white folks on a pedestal, pushing their agenda for them. So I don't care if it was a black person, because they could do the same thing. See, the problem with us when it comes to dealing with this society, when they treat us poorly, is we suffer from something called, and you know this, Stockholm Syndrome. We want to identify, unfortunately, with our oppressor. So we say, oppressor, you disrespected my child, you disrespected me, but we gonna come on back one more time, and we gonna pay a mission, and we gonna get on the rise and eat the cotton candy, and hopefully you gonna treat us good, and if you don't, my kids are gonna still have a good time. What kind of mentality thinking is that?
That's right.
We sick, boss.
You sick, boss? Well, I'm sick, or we sick, you sick. The field Negro, he prayed for the house to burn down when the house was on fire. But the house nigga said, please let there be rain because the masters is important to me. And that's what we got. Just like Malcolm X said, you know this well guy, Nollywood Jr., he said what? We still got some house niggas running around here today.
That's facts, yeah.
Tell the
There's
truth.
two kinds
Nothing
of
has
black
changed.
people in America. There's field Negroes and there's house Negroes.
That's right. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. Everything that Malcolm has said still is relevant, still true today. We're still fighting the same system. We still having the same slave mentality. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just having our own and just controlling our own, we still trying to fit into white society, knowing damn well they don't like us. You know, it should be some sort of revolution. You know what I'm saying? It's like you said, it's like, well, you know, and like you hit it on the button. It's like, well, you know, at least it's not happened to my kid.
Right.
And instead of just looking at it as a collective, we don't even look at each other as a collective. Every race of people act on a collective unit except us.
Right.
We are so divided. It's not even funny.
Well, isn't that the mentality of American society, that we've been culturally conditioned to focus on ourselves as individuals, and that we're only to worry about our immediate selves, and that anything that happens to one of us is just that's what just happened to that person. And a lot of times we have a mentality where we say, it ain't gonna happen to me. And then when it happens to us, we come running for everybody to help us, right?
That's true.
Like, for example, we all are familiar with Candace Owens, right? And we know how she talks about black folks like a dog, right? But check this out. Check this out. How many of y'all realize that when Candace Owens, I can't even say her name right, when she got herself in a situation that she thought was racism, Guy Nollywood, Back to the Basics, Yusef Ratchet Today, who did she run to get help, even though she talks about black folks like a dog? Who did she go running to get help? What organization?
Was it the NAACP?
Right. She took out a large lawsuit, I think $1 million lawsuit against, it was a discrimination case, but yet she gets up there on Fox News with her, I ain't gonna say it. She gets up on Fox News with her raggedy looking self, and she gets to talking about black folks this and black folks that, but yet she ran to a black organization that helped her win a large lawsuit discrimination.
She looked like a chinchilla in the face to me. She looked like a chinchilla. But I do want to say this. Like, I agree with what Guy's saying. Like, and I'm trying to be lightfoot about it because I don't have any children. And so I don't want to be offensive to any parents or anything like that. But I will say this. It's the ancestors, it's the universe, and it's this nation giving us, the melanated race, a wake-up call. Okay, they are showing us to our face and challenging us to unite or die. We have to unite or die. And so at the end of the day, there is no reason, in my personal opinion, for our kids to be anywhere near none of their little mangy little monster characters and getting used to monsters and all of that. So when the big monster come, they not scared because it's Cookie Monster and it's a grouch because he's miserable and you're just accepting it. And to teach your kids, they need to be looking up to little melanated beings, not little green monsters or pale people. And so at the end of the day, at that cookout or whatever it was over there with the parade, you know, that
says go away.
Black kids would have even knew nothing about that. And y'all keep on, the kids don't even got to know nothing about Sesame Street or nothing because you introduced it to them through the devices that is controlling adults' minds. And so I don't know why people is not uniting and having our own characters and cartoons and franchises and amusement parks, sending the messages of symbolism and empowerment to our children for them to look up to and stuff like that. And it don't need to be no monsters anyway.
Right. Well, I will say, to the credit of, see, Sesame Street is not what it is today, what it was when I was growing up. So I will give them credit because they were one of the first shows to introduce black Muppets. So when you look at a lot of their Muppets, they were trying to make, I guess, to the best of their ability, a diverse sort of look. I will
They're
give them
still
that.
trash.
I will. Yeah, I get it, but I will give them that credit in where they were before many of us were not born, or either we were little kids. I will give them that credit. As it relates to this, to what we got going on today, you're absolutely right. We need to divorce ourselves from all this stuff. Matter of fact, black people, hear me out. Christmas is coming up sometime in a few months from now. Please do not put your kids on the lap of somebody dressed in a Santa Claus outfit. You don't even know who that person is, what they're into. Matter of fact, some years ago, they found out that one of these guys was one of those, petties. I'm not going to say the word. They were one of these petties. You know what I mean by that? That they was putting their kids on the lap of. Stay away from that. Stop it.
They teaching them how to be whores.
Right. Let me read Ebony M, and thank you, sister, for coming over. I'm gonna start reading some stuff that people are saying in the chat room. Very important. We got Ebony. He says this: our race division goes back to when our own sold us into slavery. That's correct. Unfortunately, it's innate for us to be divided against each other. When we don't briefly unite. That's very powerful. You are correct. I got to give you all the love there. Fact statement. And we got Sister OG Patrice is in the house. I'm going to shout. I'm going to see what she's going to say and what she's saying as well. Let's see. Golden Melanin says they are showing us to our face that they have the same hatery for us they had when they first laid eyes on us. Very good points. Let me see. See here. Miss Bella is in the house. She says, yep, jazz artists first learned on their total differences from back in the day. I'd like to know what the full reference is that she's referencing there. And who else do we have here? Let me read. Memo 100 says, we are so negative towards each other, even when we are fighting discrimination. Yeah, because we're totally... I just think that we are deeply culturally conditioned in American society. And let me say peace to Keith Weston. Good to see you over here, brother. One of my biggest supporters on the program. Everybody has been fantastic. Let me see what OG Patrice, Sesame Street Electric Company novel and Zoom was a big part of our black culture. Okay. OG Patrice, man, I saw you on a panel and you were debating back and forth with somebody that's going around YouTube acting like they gonna try to teach us about policing and trying to change the narrative, and everything that you were saying to him was facts. See, you were dealing with I'm gonna say it. I gotta keep it real. You were dealing with somebody who didn't grow up like us, who don't come from our lineage, should I say. Trying to tell you nobody can tell black people about policing and how it works when we've been a victim of policing for over 400 years in this country. Most and his narrative is all about, well, we get our ideas about police from the media. No, most black people get their ideas about policing from our personal experiences with police, or family members that we knew with dealing with police, or people that we knew in the neighborhood, and things that we saw, like growing up in neighborhoods where police occupy your neighborhood. They don't protect your neighborhood. So just keep that in mind. Don't waste your time talking to people who are nothing but wolves in sheep's clothing, trying to come to YouTube, acting like they're trying to educate black people on some policing when we don't need the education because we've got years of seeing it with our own eyes, period. So OG Patrice, don't waste your time with individuals like that, because you got to ask very important question. Where'd they come from? Who sent them? What's the real agenda? That's the truth.
Tell the truth.
All right. Let's read some more messages here. Because I know the individual you was talking to. I had a little discussion with him and I had to cut it loose because he wasn't honest. He lied and said that policing did not come out of slave patrols, and it did. And I got the data on that. It did come out of slave patrols. It's an offshoot of slave patrols. Anybody running around YouTube telling you that, stay the hell away from them. Don't associate. Tiffany Jackson says it's time for us to commit to unlearning our conditioning and to relearn truth about ourselves and to love ourselves. Dever Gunn says exactly. We don't need their education, period. Yeah, we got years of education from experience. And we got Ivan Fernandez. Thank you for being here. I'm familiar with you, Ivan. Thank you for coming over and watching the program today. Let me see. We got Pator Afro in the house. Let me give her some love. And let me see. Facts information, man. I just say it's time they took off that serve and protect writing off their cruisers because that's false. Look, I grew up seeing a lot of stuff that police did. I don't need anybody telling me, oh, you got it wrong. You've been conditioned by media. No, I knew about what police do to black people when I was a kid, before I was watching a lot of news programs. And as I grew up as a kid into a teenager, into an adult, I know firsthand what police do just from my own experience with them personally. So I don't need anybody telling me you got it all wrong. You got to understand what the media is teaching you versus what I can tell you. No, I don't need you to tell me anything. I'm 52 years old. I've been around longer than you. Matter of fact, I deal with guys in the prison system, so I know exactly what the policing system does. I see the damn data. We incarcerate more people in California than anybody in the world. I see the data. I see the criminal files. I see the questionable arrest records.
That's raw data because you see that's not no made up stats
I
or
know,
anything like that.
I know in California there's a green light on black people by the Mexican mafia to have their gang structures come into LA and take us out of certain neighborhoods. I get that information. I know too much about gangs and how they work. I also know that a lot of white men, I heard people on YouTube talk about, somebody mute yourself, please. I've heard people talk, and I don't want to get too far off subject matter here, but I've heard people on YouTube make these outrageous statements about black men do the most domestic crime against their families. There are black men who are crazy as all get out, who have done harm to their families. But when you look at the FBI statistics, which is their statistics, I didn't make them up, that's their stuff. White society, particularly white men, do the most harm, and they do the most R word. You know what the R word means, to their family and children, not black men. So let's get back on topic here.
It's not a contest either. Either way, the issue here is that the rise of numbers. You don't want black men to ever catch up to white men in degeneracy.
No. Don't get me wrong, Yusef, because I know you talk about this on your channel. I don't want us ever to catch up to those numbers, but I'm not going to sit up here and deny at the same time that we don't do harm to our community, because we do, but we don't do it at the same level as white society. But then again, we need to be accountable to our own society and not worry about other societies. So I have to be honest about that. I do have to be an honest broker about that. But let's get back on subject matter. Empress Queen, you came back on. Thank you for being here. I would like to know your honest opinion about, and let me say moments with, I just got to give her some respect here. Moments with Nikki Reed is in the house. Thank you for being here, sister. But Empress Queen, what's your honest opinions about this particular story? We went a little bit deeper into it today. What is your honest opinion?
First of all, I want to say salute to your information, man, for always, dropping these gems as always. You are the only one really on this platform that really brings all the facts to us and goes in depth with it and don't care what you say about it, because you're going to keep it real with us. And salute to the chat. But it's just, I'm piggyback off of what Back to the Basics said. It's just a damn shame, I'll say all the time, the more things change, the more they stay the same. And you know for yourself, because you have been over to my channel, and Brother Keith, he brought with me this morning, and I just broadcasted that Malcolm X speech, a message to the grassroots this morning, where he was talking about the house Negro and the field Negro. So me and Keith just said it's still relevant to this day. So it's just things, they try to make it look like it changed, but it's all undercover. That's all it is. They do
Right.
things in a little sly, sneaky way. That's why they try to do it. Not you. They throw a rock and hide the damn hand.
Right. Well, let me say this. I'm gonna throw another question, controversial question. Do black people complain too much about? Should we just go on and live our lives and stop complaining and making everything racial? Do we complain too much about stuff? But then
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I don't think we complain critically enough. I don't think we critically complain with critical thought and with our real agendas and with our real position in society and collectively in mind. Because it's one thing to have a grievance, but it's like, we need to start encouraging the critical thought. That way people can be more solution based. A lot of people say that people are not solution based. And a lot of times, if you listen to black people complain, it's usually very valid and they do give solutions. And if you're a critical thinker and a problem solver, you would hear that solution in the problem. And a lot of people debate solutions. That's an issue as well. Too much.
Brother Guy, Nolly, go ahead, Empress Queen.
Yourself, but I totally agree with you. But when we start complaining, the first thing the white man gonna say is, let it go. That's in the past. We bringing up old shit.
No, they need to get out the past.
Well, Empress Queen,
past.
I got one better for you. I don't really care what white society thinks when I bring up my issue. I could care less. But the people who really become a problem, but keep this in mind. That's not really the problem. The problem is that we got black people doing their handiwork for them. So you'll have black people telling us, "Oh, that's the past. Don't worry about it," and act as if we can't. Look. Black people have been chewing gum, riding a bike, and jumping rope. We're multidimensional people. Why can't we at the same time acknowledge our past history, acknowledge what we have to do right here in the right here and the now, and also address some issues? See, this is the thing that kills me about black folks in general. We don't have that smoke for other groups. You know that I lived in San Francisco. You had Asian people, Jewish people. Do you know that they will do multi-dimensional things? Jewish people will say never again, meaning you can never call them a derogatory word again. They send their kids, both Chinese, Asian people, and other people, they send their kids to their own schools to learn their own history, while we got black folks talking about we shouldn't understand our history, we should move on. Every other group's got their own school to send their kids to on Saturday or Sunday. While black people tell black people in general, not all, won't you stop talking about what happened in the past history? Why don't you go tell other groups to stop sending their kids to a freaking school to learn their history? We just talk about our history. They got schools that they send them to. When I lived in San Francisco in Chinatown, they got Chinese school. The kids go to school Monday through Friday, and on Saturday they go to Chinese school. Ain't nobody telling them to not teach their kids their history.
You know how that goes? Systematic racism. That's all it is. But you know what? Hold on. Do you remember those ebony books, those brown ebony books? They look almost like encyclopedias when we were growing up. You used to have all the black history and everything.
Yes.
Now, see, you don't even see stuff like that anymore.
Nah, I remember you used to back in the day when you went to the supermarket, your parents would order the encyclopedias and they would pay it on a payment. This goes way back. They would pay for the encyclopedias on a payment plan, and you couldn't wait till you got them big old thick books. But we don't need it now because we got these damn cell phones. But I remember that very well, Empress Queen. Guy Nollywood, you've been quiet for a while. I want to hear from you, brother.
Information, man. You took the words right out of my mouth, man. It's just like, I always say we have to be a selfish race of people. And for years, we've been suppressing our feelings. For years. What you have showed is racism is in our face almost every day. And it's like you said, it's our own people's telling you, nah, just keep it to yourself. Don't just be quiet. Just don't say nothing, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, you know what I'm saying? We have to speak out. We have to speak out. This is the reason why I said we have to be a selfish race. And matter of fact, I go further than that. We're gonna have to be racist. We're gonna have to be a racist to other races of people, because if you notice, every race of people that be racist to us, they get a pass. They get a pass.
You know, it was
No
funny
one
you said
says
that.
nothing to them when they racist to us.
Right.
But as soon as we get racist, oh, you being racist. Oh, that's not good. You trying to be like every other race. But it's working for every other race.
Right. You know, I got a friend of mine, somebody that I know, and he has that type of disposition, which you're talking about. And I kind of joke with him, and I call him a black skinhead. I said, man, you're a black skinhead. If there's even such a thing, you know, I'm playing off words here, but and I call him that because he's very much about his people, but he don't take no smack off of mayonnaise individuals. And so he'll call them out. And so look.
Exactly. He's a black skin.
The bottom line is this. If you're mistreated if I go to a restaurant and I get poor service, it don't even have to be racial, Guy Nollywood. It could be just I got poor service. Now, if there's some racial component to it, I'll recognize that. But if I got poor service and the food was terrible and I didn't like the vibe of the place, guess what, Nollywood? I'm not coming back to that restaurant. So for people out there who say that, oh, black people, y'all only want to do things when it's about race. No, if I'm getting poor treatment, whether it's a racial issue or not, I'm not coming back to your establishment. See, this is the thing. We forget black people, we got standards too. If you're giving me poor service or poor food or poor service, I'm not going to patronize you, period. So why would we want to still patronize a place where technically our kids could feel like they're unwanted? We saw in that video, and she said that those young girls felt their air was blown out of their balloon. And they said, what did we do wrong? Why do we have to take our kids to amusement parks like this and have to ask the question to them if they say to us, what did I do wrong, Daddy? And then we're sitting there with our kids and we see Elmo or whoever walking across and we're saying, hey, how you doing? And he walks right, or whoever the person is walks right past our kids who they can clearly see us. And then we're looking at them hugging and kissing and picking up white children. Even though the park says, our policy says you're not supposed to pick up anybody. Yeah, but your characters are still picking up other people of other races. So now I have to make a decision. Do I take my kid back to this park and give them any more of my admissions money? To me, it's a no-brainer. But it's like some of our people are walking around like zombies.
That's true. You're right. It's facts. I mean, it's we're trying to force them to love us, and that's the thing I don't like about our people. We always trying to force them, and we trying to beg them. And let me tell you something. As long as we keep begging for their approval or to like us, we will never get respect. Period. As a people,
that's true.
It's just not going to happen.
I really appreciate you, Guy. It's a pleasure to speak with you because it's way too often and far and few in between of the mindsets in our community, and with that type of authoritarian leadership mindset. As the divine masculine, I do appreciate you being one of random black men to hit up and you got sense, because a lot of us act like we don't got no sense. You know what I'm saying? And I disagree with everything that you've said so far, and that's very rare. And so I will say, though, I wanted to answer Information Man's question about being stuck in the past. Yes. I will say that we need to check everybody. See, if you let history, it will repeat itself. History ain't never been nice to us in this nation. That's point one. The second point is they're the ones who stuck in the past. The people stuck in the past is the one holding up their cave sisters' evil deviltry, even at the expense of being slave owners or murderers or whatever type of evil people that they were. They're bigger. They have nobody happy and positive to look up to. You see what I'm saying? And so this is what they're keeping along. Those are the people stuck in the past. The people think that they can control the way that black people think, live, move, and feel, those are the ones stuck in the past because that's what slave owners would do. And so things of that nature and et cetera, making abortions great again and all of that in Americave, all of that is stuck in the past. You see, because if we were stuck in the past, we would be BC, before the caves.
Right. Let me answer. I want to answer this. This person right here. I believe it's Ellen said this, and we're going to dissect this. Pro athletes, celebrities do this all the time. They ignore the fans. You move on. Happens at Christmas time. Black folks take kids to see Santa Claus in the parade, and Santa Claus is a actor. I want anybody that wants to take on this particular statement here, because I would not personally compare pro athletes to a place where you bring kids that's specifically tailored to children, where children get to mingle with their favorite characters from a TV show, a place where you're supposed to make everyone feel welcome. Baseball players, last time I checked, athletes are made to greet you because they're getting paid money when they sign your autograph at an autograph show, or every now and then the management will tell them you got to get out there and shake a few fans' hand. But outside of that, we know that athletes will sometime not shake the fans' hand and not, but you can't compare an athlete in this instant to little kids, because you don't have a bunch of little kids. Basketball and football, yes, kids like these sports, but basketball and football are not soliciting family members, bring a bunch of kids where we're going to put on a parade for you. They put on parades and things of that nature, and they walk down the parade where they shake the hands of people. And in this case, you had very clearly these characters, or people playing these characters, bypassing black children for other kids, particularly white kids, when the kids were right in their face. There's no comparison to professional athletes, because the way kids behave towards these characters versus how you will behave as an adult. Okay, Magic Johnson didn't shake my hand. Okay, F Magic Johnson. Okay, you say that to yourself as an adult, but a child has a brain where they're trying to figure out. As an adult, you'll be able to handle the disappointment, because you'll probably say F Michael Jackson or Michael Jordan or F whatever. The sucker didn't sign my autograph book. F him. And you'll pick up your butt and keep on moving. No comparison. Celebrities the same. We're talking about kids here. A theme park designed for kids, not the same comparison.
I like to piggyback.
I probably already
off of
answered
that.
the damn questions. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I like to piggyback off of that, because that's the problem. Just like you had mentioned, I had listened to a recent podcast that you had done. And just like you said, children, they're not able to vote. There's a lot of decisions that are made, you know what I mean? And, that just like you said, that's not even fair. And just to bring in something else, that's the problem. We've become such a individualist, narcissistic society that it's pretty much tearing the whole family unit up. That's the problem. That's the whole problem.
I mean, as an adult, when you go to a sporting event, there's no guarantee that you're going to get to shake hands with the athlete. Now, occasionally, if you get there early, sometimes the kids will get to shake their hand when they come down to where the court is, behind the seats. And occasionally that does happen. Occasionally, randomly, you might get lucky and get an athlete to sign your autograph, but it's no guarantee. When you go to these sporting events, you kind of already know that. But when you take your child to places like Sesame Place and you read their bylaws, they want you to feel welcome and greeted. They want the characters to mingle with the people. So I just don't see the comparison there. I just don't think it's a comparison. And in terms of Santa Claus being an actor, we already know that the person that's playing Santa Claus is an actor. But I just said a few minutes ago, stop putting your kids in the lap of Santa Claus.
And just one more thing, and I'm going to be quiet because I don't want to hog the mic.
No, you're not hogging anything.
You
Back
guys
to the
know I could
basics.
be long with it, but as far as acting, I mean, the pro athletes, just like somebody had put in the chat, public relations. I mean, that whole thing is pretty much an act.
Right. And just like Ebony M is saying here, yeah, let's be real. People still spend money on celebrities, even when they do, disappoint them or what have you behavior. Let me see. People even cape for singers who are repeatedly intimate with underage. Ooh, we don't. That's true. But Sesame Place, no go. Yeah, you just can't compare it to celebrities and sports. It's a whole different game. Look, the bottom line is Miss Judy Brown told the two young ladies, she told her niece and her daughter that sometimes she said to them, you guys are not the problem. People are the problem. What she did is she gave them a dose of reality that there's real people in those outfits. And I think that's what we just have to be real about. These are people in these costumes. You don't know what their politics is. You don't know if they're a racist person or not. You don't know if they're a weird person. We just don't know what kind of people Sesame Place is hiring, or any place you go where people put on outfits. And that doesn't mean that you can't have someone who puts on an outfit and says, this gives me an opportunity to really make black children look bad. Just like you saw that video where that character ran up on that little girl and pushed the little girl to the ground with the belly. That's crazy. And maybe it was an accident, or maybe you never know, I'm playing this character and this is a chance for me to F with these black kids. Believe me, there are people out there who are in these costumes and they can't wait to try to make your kids look silly.
Can I say something?
Yes, sir.
I want us to take attention because we are definitely critical in our thought, and we are the authoritarians of our community. Ain't nothing slower about us. At the end of the day, let's call attention to the crumbs from Benjamin Coon's Crumpets and Lee Merritt's and Al Sharpton and all of the crafty coons, how they're always conveniently available in the face of black terrorism and never getting no justice. Somebody's massa is letting them out the gate and giving them butter for their biscuits. What do y'all think about that?
Well, that's the question I also want to ask, and I'm glad that you brought it up. Why is it? I had said to Brother Yalpo, who's in the chat room, we had a private conversation, and I said, I bet you any kind of money that Crump is somehow going to find himself involved in this. What is your thoughts about? The question is, do we or do we not have any other civil rights lawyer? Why is he always the one getting all the cases, or always in front of those wherever there's cameras? You notice that whenever there's a case that's getting headlines that will solicit cameras and CNN, and all of a sudden he wants to be involved in that case.
It's a part of that performative nature. That's a part of the gender divide. It's a part of that performative nature. That's a part of the gender divide. They get a lot of people will be there, act like they care about people, our people, their people, and then it's really just fake and pandering. And so It's essentially taking the pain. Oh, another black person terrorized and a life loss or some drama. And so here they come and they listen to the black mother, then the black family, they cry they let them cry and they have dinner and they say it's going to be all right. We're going to take it to the Supreme Court. And then they just go back on about their day. It's a reoccurring cycle that's helping with no justice. They know that these types of coons won't challenge a thing.
Right. Let me tell you a short story. I'll be real short. Some years ago, I was watching either an HBO special or some type of special. You all might have remembered this. And it was Messy Jesse. And slick back hairdo Al Sharpton. There was this young brother. He had, I think his cousin or his brother was mistreated, or he was taken out of here by the police, or it was some case, and nobody would help this brother. He went to Washington, D.C. He went looking for Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton, and they were at some conference, and he went up to Jesse Jackson, trying to see if he can get help for what happened to his brother. He was literally begging Jesse Jackson. And as Jesse is that he was trying to tell Jesse Jackson the story. This is real, folks. I'm not making this up. It was some kind of documentary that I was watching. He started talking to Jesse Jackson, Messy Jackson, and saying, something happened to my brother and I'd like to explain to you the case, sir. I'm looking for help. Nobody would help me. Jesse Jackson looked him dead in the eye. I know it because I watched the footage, and said to him, I don't need a speech from you, young man. Now you're giving me a speech. I just need you to write the name and give it to my secretary or whatever. Don't give me a speech. This man was pouring his heart out to Jesse Jackson. This is your so-called black leadership. Your so-called black leadership. Your so-called black leadership. Let me come a little closer. Your so-called black leadership. So he's telling this man's emotional. Because he's saying nobody is helping him. They're just giving him runarounds. He's trying to express to Jesse Jackson how much he needs his help. Jesse's too busy trying to shush him down because he wants to move on to wherever he's got to go. Oh, just give it to this person. And now you're giving me a speech, young man. I'm like, damn, Jesse Jackson. Then after Jesse kind of brushed him off, he went up to Al Do-Rag Sharpton. And he said, Al Sharpton, same thing. Something happened to my cousin or my brother. I'm not getting no help. I want to tell you the story. I need help. Brother, I need help. And all Jesse said to him, all Al Sharpton said to him is, I just give your number, your information to one of my secretaries. See, secretary. See, these people are not even personable. Right? These people get on television, get on radio shows and act like they personable. They go all around the country and speak at colleges and get the bag at these colleges. Jesse Jackson came to my college, San Francisco State, and got $5,000 of my tuition money, far as I'm damn sure. He got $5,000 out of us. It might have been more than that. It might have been more than that. And the reason why I can say is because you know how when you're on college, you have these things called student unions and you have black organizations. I was a member of a black organization on campus. I was very involved in school. We brought his ass there. He got about $5,000, $6,000 out of us. And of course, Rosa Parks, she showed up. We gave her a nice little purse too as well, but she was wonderful. And many other well-known people that I had a chance to meet. But same thing, same thing. Al Sharpton was impersonable and just kind of brushed the young man off. And then when he walked away from both of them, he said, see, everybody, they're phony. I can't even get help from people who claim to be our leaders. Damn shame. Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth, everybody. Coming back over to the panel now. What do y'all think of my story? However long-winded it was.
He's not my leader. The leader I look to is the one that's right in the mirror. I don't need to look to somebody else to be a leader. And if I do want to look at somebody, I can look at some people from the past, like Dr. Francis Kessling or Dr. John Henry Clark or somebody like that.
Wilson, yep.
Yeah, or Malcolm X. I ain't gonna be looking to any of these. I'm just gonna say phonies because it's just a
I
bunch
met
of
Dr. Henry
shenanigans.
Clark. He came to my college, and we brought him over because if what was great is that when you're on a college campus and when black people come together and we create organizations and you become a part of the Black Student Union, we sort of invite people to come and speak to us. And I just had a lot of beautiful people that I had a chance to hear speak. Of course, Jesse Jackson at one point in time, I was a big fan of him at one point in time with all that Keep Hope Alive bullshit that I brought into back in the early 80s. Remember when he ran for president in 84, 85, and he said, kept hope alive, Jesse run, Jesse run. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I brought into it hook, line, and sinker. But then as you grow into adulthood and you begin to realize that these people ain't nothing but, agents of destruction. For their own pocketbooks, because you can't tell me what church these guys preach at. Either one of these guys don't preach at a church. Where are they getting their money? How are you able to send your kids to all the top schools and what have you? Where are you getting all this flush money from? You don't have a church. Who's employing you? Well, he got money because he does speeches at campuses and stuff like that. He gets the bag that way. He got about 5,000 or 6,000 out of us. Anyway, let me stop.
And you know what, information man? You can't tell me that them niggas didn't know that Dr. King was gonna get assassinated. See how they came up after that?
Well, I have a theory about that. I've talked about it before. I believe that Dr. King, and I know it's blasphemy what I'm going to say, it's off subject, but I believe Dr. King was, I think his, it was his inner circle that did him in. One, why the hell would you let him go out on a, just hear me out. He was already, remember, Dr. King was stabbed in Memphis the first time he went out there. So he already had people trying to go after him. Why in the hell and then all of a sudden, then guess what? That Lorraine motel, he wasn't supposed to stay there. There was another hotel that he usually stayed at, and for some reason, he wasn't able to stay there. So they brought him to that hotel for whatever the reasons are. It's very strange. And you're going to let him walk out on the balcony by himself in a town where he's hated. He was stabbed at once before. You're not going to have security out there watching. That's why I like the Nation of Islam, because they have the fruits out there. They'll have the fruits of Islam out there combing everything, watching everything, right? You're going to let Dr. King go out there and don't give him no security and look at them damn bushes and look at every damn thing. Keep your eyes out for anything. And then he gets his life taken away. He gets assassinated. And then Jesse Jackson told that lie that he held Dr. King in his arms and had the bloody shirt to go with it. And that turned out to be a lie. And then we hear this is rumor that he was flown out of the town on a private plane. That's rumored. Then we got Dr. King, who came there because he wanted to protest against what happened to the sanitation workers who got crushed in that machine. And he was about to go after the corporations like Pepsi and Coca-Cola. And then we got someone like Andrew Young, who becomes a member of the board of Coca-Cola. And he ends up having a pretty good wealthy life as becoming mayor of Atlanta, Georgia. And then all these Negroes have made out like bandits, but then Dr. King dies a poor man. What's up with that? But look at the people who survived the civil rights movement. They end up making money, and everybody that was radical ends up being assassinated. What does that tell you? Right. Why is it that Dr. King, being the leader, he was assassinated, but Jesse Jackson was no one touched him. Nobody touched any of these other black folks who ended up making the bag and ended up being pushed to us as leaders. See what I'm saying?
I'll tell you why. Because after he woke up and found out they wasn't doing nothing but pulling his strings, it started speaking out, because a lot of people don't know a lot of those other speeches that he made. They just know certain ones. And right. He actually met Malcolm X before he was assassinated. A lot of people don't know that either.
Right. Yeah, I got a picture of that. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
See what I'm saying? He had no started speaking out.
Right. Dr. King became dangerous because he was changing public policy when he said he was going to go after the corporations and people. And then he got into the whole human rights situation. Look, we got my man Greg Harris in the house. We see right here. Let me give me some respect to Little Rock 2517 and Greg Harris and Jackie. I don't want to be rude here. Jackie's in the house. I appreciate this sister here who's just come in the house. Give you some respect. Let me give some respect to Queen Shug. Queen Shug is the proper thing to say. Sorry about that. Queen Shug, thank you for coming over and joining the program. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. And this is how we do it over here. And Ivan Fernando, thank you for coming over and being in there supportive. Let me see. There's somebody else that I want to give some respect to that I just seen in the chat room. And now I can't find her. And Ebony M, I want to thank you. Let me see what she's saying right here. She's making some good shit. She says, yes, Dr. King was taken out once his message not only included black people, but poor people. MLK was helping out unions. Right. Right. That's true. And Old Reliable, thank you for being here. Says this, I'm black veteran. I can lead, but some can't handle it. I ain't no joke. That's from Old Reliable. Thank you.
Yeah, he said he felt like he had integrated his people into a burning house.
Right. And then we've got this sister here. Let me see if I can make out her name. Help me out here. Chica Carolyn 2 stars. Is that correct or am I wrong? Help me out. Am I correct on that name? I guess I am. Nobody's saying anything. I don't know. But I appreciate you coming over and joining us today. Everybody that's new to the channel, you're welcome here. We do this every Sunday. I go live every Sunday around this time, about 5:30 Eastern time, 4:30 Central time, 2:30 Western time. Sometimes I can be a little late depending on what's going on, but I do it every Sunday. I'm letting you know that because you know that YouTube's notifications suck. So I need to let you know I'm consistent over here on the weekend program. And also, if you are a content creator and you want to improve your channel, improve what you're doing, don't sleep on my new channel, Info Media Live. Info Media Live is where I do strategies and tips for building a YouTube channel. Roberto Blake is my inspiration for creating that channel. And then, of course, I drop short form content, 20 minutes, 15-minute content every other day on the other channel, the Information Man Speaks podcast, where I give you some short form content, maybe every other day during the week. So you can find that.
Man.
Yes.
Hey, I got a question for you because I don't have enough subscribers. I have a community board, but I did a little short video.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when that's how I first met you. But then you report about Ahmaud Arbery.
Right.
So I ran into his father in there today. And
I was
wondering. Yeah, wow. I heard somebody say, "Hey, Mom," so I stopped. Happened to have my window down, so I stopped and everything. Mm-hmm. And we were talking, and I had a little idea, came to my head about maybe getting him on a show or something like that, and maybe y'all could ask him some questions about the case and everything. Because since y'all brought up Ben Crump, that would really be a good show. So I want to get
hey, yeah, do me a favor. And it would be very blessed if you can connect with him. I would love to get him on the show to get the real deal, because there's what we saw on camera and then there's what's really going on behind the scenes. And I would love to hear his perspective if you're able to connect with him in any kind of way.
I told you that's what made me stop. I had my window down. I heard somebody say, "Hey, Mom." And then I stopped. As a matter of fact, I have a picture. My thumbnail is a picture of me, and I'm between him and his brother Gary. Yeah.
Well, ask him. I would love to get him on the show and interview him and ask him real important questions, because I think what happened to his son was uncalled for, and I want to be able to get the backstory. See, he can give us the back stuff that we didn't get that the media didn't tell us and that many of us didn't know. So I appreciate you stopping me there and letting me know about that. Let me give some love to What We Know podcast. Thank you. And everybody, What We Know podcast, they will be on this show. Yes, you will be on this show sooner than later, brothers. I will be reaching out to you soon. And I definitely check them out. Great program. He hangs over there with Sir Hale and Black Man Unfiltered, just like I do on the panels. You can find us over there on that platform as well. Subscribe to his channel. He says that Dr. King didn't die of the gunshots. That it was, as you can see right there, he got shot, but it was the other byproduct of it that took him out. This is why health is important. So,
can I say something, Information Man?
Yes, sir.
When we look at what J. Edgar Hoover said,
J. Edgar Hoover.
He said that there will never be another Black Messiah unless we created one. Mm-hmm. And then when you mentioned Jesse Jackson, and which to me they're celebrity hogs. There's the reason why they take pictures with athletes and singers and all that stuff. When you start seeing these so-called Black leaders, which they're not really leaders, they're celebrity hogs. So they just want to be they're just looking for fame and fortune.
Right.
And this is what white folks they're telling, oh, this is your leader. Mm-hmm. They created Jesse J. They created the Al Sharptons. So we can't fall for the hokey doke. Also, I want to mention right after, and this is something that J. Edgar Hoover said I believe right after the assassination of Dr. King. Mm-hmm. When you have mentioned, and you're right, it was done by his inner circle, because we got to remember Dr. King was tired. He was tired, and they told him, "Oh, come outside, get some fresh air." Dr. King didn't want to come outside. You know what I'm saying? So he went outside. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So that's how he got assassinated. So it was
Right.
definitely his inner circle. But a lot of people don't know that.
The bottom line is, you know, a man is public enemy number one in America, just as Malcolm X was public enemy number one. And we know what happened in that situation. That was another setup that took Malcolm X out as well. And that was another setup.
Facts.
I believe that Dr. King was set up. I mean, how many of you remembered, and this is documented, I didn't make this up. Dr. King was not supposed to be in that hotel. That was not the normal hotel or motel that he went to. He actually when he would go to Memphis or any place, he would normally stay in a hotel that was owned by black people. For some reason, this is strange. Go back and do the history footage on this. For some reason, he was not able to get a room or was not able to get a booking to the hotel that he had always gone to. So then they had to take him to this off-beacon place that's now become like a museum of history. This place that he never wanted to, a place that he never laid his head in. Don't you find that ironic? He went to a motel that he never laid his head in, and then this happens. But all the time that he went to the hotel that was more friendly to black folks, this happens.
That's true.
And then the inner circle around him. And remember this, y'all probably forgot this too, Guy Nollywood. You remember this? Ralph Abernathy, before he passed away, wrote a scaling book. This is where we get all this stuff about, well, you know, Dr. King was having extramarital affairs and was messing around and doing all this stuff. Where you think all that stuff came from all of a sudden? Ralph Abernathy, before he passed away, he wrote y'all remember that? He wrote a tell-all book where he started to talk about that stuff. And I'm saying to myself, dude, you damn near on your deathbed and you're going to write this book about Dr. King, who you claim that you looked up to. And now you write this book and then you pass away. And why you think he wrote that book? Because Ralph Abernathy always felt slighted by the fact that the younger Dr. King was propped up before him. It was Ralph Abernathy who wanted to lead the movement. It was Ralph Abernathy that people respected, but it was the people who turned around and said, yeah, we respect Ralph, but we want this young brother here, Dr. King, who speaks strong and moves strong. We need young blood in this movement. And he got overlooked for Dr. King. I believe that he was always jealous of Dr. King because he believed that he should have led the movement and Dr. King got all the flowers and he didn't. And then when he got older, he wrote that scale. Y'all go do the research for yourself. He wrote a nasty book in which he tried to throw Dr. King under the bus because he started talking about personal stuff that he should have left to himself. Now, was Dr. King a perfect man? No. No man and no woman is. Do I condone him cheating on his wife if that's what he was doing? No, I don't. And any other thing he was doing? No, I don't appreciate. But does that change the fact that he did what he did for the civil rights movement, that it was good for us? Maybe he put us into a burning house. As he said himself, I put my people in a burning house. I did something wrong here. He even acknowledged it before he got assassinated. So has the man made mistakes? Did the man do some things that many of us probably wasn't alive to know about? He probably did. But y'all, everybody keep thinking that, oh, the FBI gonna come out with this information. No, it's black people that look just like Dr. King who put his business out there like that. And then white society takes that information and they run with it.
There's also an aspect of that where people do too much missing the mark, because it's like, do people really pay attention and honor the ethics that Martin Luther King or Malcolm X or any of them had, whether they were different or whatever? Does anybody really care? Because how many movements do you really see being modeled after either one of those? That's first and foremost, because just because they take one out don't mean it should be unstoppable. You know, it's the spirit that they don't want to live on, and they don't want that person to be that message and that standard for their own community. But also, you know, I often find people, especially non-blacks, but blacks too, bring up Martin Luther King usually when they're in the presence of a revolutionary person and they're trying to calm them down and put water on their fire and all
That's
of
true.
that, instead
That's
of
true.
be behind them and be a part of the warrior class, because there's many different types of battles on the war field. Everything isn't always bloody and gory. There's many things, and then when things do get bloody and gory, who's going to patch up the warriors? Who's going to feed the warriors and shelter the warriors? All those types of things all matter, and everybody's position really does matter. And
Right.
so again, if people really cared about Martin Luther King or Malcolm X or whichever one they went with, there would be a lot more movements modeled after them, and by now they would have become more of a united front and more of a trend. It didn't catch on, so they successfully not only killed them, but they killed the leader's spirit in the average black movement.
You're absolutely right.
Facts.
Eric Ford here is telling the
Facts.
truth. He says that is facts, Nollywood. MLK was going for our reparations for the hard work of FBA descendants of. Look, I agree that Dr. King, when he made those statements about other groups of people, such as Europeans coming over here, getting land grants and all these set-asides to them. That's why we can't listen to people telling us what we should not be going for, because they've been giving set-asides to people who don't look like us since way back when. I'll just say this. I think that both Dr. King and Malcolm X were necessary. We needed the militancy of Malcolm X, just as we needed the militancy or the Black Power of the Black Power movement of the Black Panther Party that was founded in Oakland, California. We needed Dr. King as well. Now, I may not agree with some of the methods of nonviolence, because I'm not letting nobody put their hands on me at all and feel comfortable about that. But both men were necessary. But this is the problem. Everybody has read Malcolm X autobiography. Everyone talks about Malcolm X and talks about Dr. King. But what I'm seeing today is that what good is it to read about these men and women, because we had sisters out here putting it down too. What good is it to read about our heroes and our sheroes if we don't implement the things that they're telling us? Dr. Welsing, she told us what this monster is all about. She broke it down. They left us the information. So what good is it if we know these people and we don't implement the things they talked about in our action? So if we're taking our kids to an amusement park, theme park, where we just experience some form of racism or prejudice or some mistreatment of some kind, then why in the hell are we talking about going back there to give them some more of our dime? When we know that our leaders in the past have told us not to do that. So we like to bring their names up, but a lot of us don't implement their methodology in our own life. Whether we can learn from what happened to Dr. King. We can learn from the nonviolence movement that they implemented. We can learn its weaknesses and its strengths. We can learn from what happened to Malcolm X. We can learn from that. I'm going to say this. I'm going to let everybody give their closing remarks, because I'm going to have to end the show. I appreciate everybody joining me today. We'll go with back to the basics. What are your last remarks for now?
Wow, what you said was powerful. The one thing I did want to piggyback off of was, today, just like Mr. Youssef had said, the movements are not modeled after what has been done in the past. It's a shame that now there's a division, it seems, even with the movement for reparations. Now, because here's the issue. We have people who are so busy wanting to make a name for themselves and be the face of a movement. I don't even have to be at the table. I don't necessarily have to be in the same room. I could just be a shadow. I could just be working in the shadows and doing what needs to be done. And it really is a shame. And my final remarks will be, as far as the reason why, as far as the reason for the panel,
Mhm.
Generation Alpha is coming.
Mm-hmm.
And these babies are seeing exactly what it is. There's no sense
Mhm.
of lying about it. There's no sense of sugarcoating and, buck dancing and tap dancing and all this other stuff. We don't have time for that. And we definitely don't have time to be twerking upside down and all this other nonsense. We don't have time for the gender war. We don't have time for any of this nonsense. We have to focus on our survival and be selfish.
Facts.
And,
Facts.
and that's pretty much it. Ain't nobody got time for all this bullshit, this nonsense.
Thank you. Facts. Facts on top
Amen.
of facts.
Okay, always.
Go ahead, brother Yusef. Ratchet today.
Yes, thank you. Pleasure. Speaking with all of y'all. Thank you, Information Man, for hosting this panel, doing what you do in Black media. I always appreciate coming over here and having a place to be open and honest and tell the truth. Okay, and pleasure speaking with all of y'all on the panel for the first time and for the second time and for the third time for some. And I'll be back. So this the thing. Oh yeah, and I did change my channel name. Just so you know, I changed my channel name to In the Till Kitchen and Tea with Yusef. It's not Yusef from Ratchet Today no more, but I still do that. Okay. So anyway, my last points is that we teach our kids to be fair and play and share and all of that. Nobody else does that. We need to teach them no. And we need to teach them, don't let them ride your bike and don't let them ride your back. Okay. And so mind you, I don't have any kids, so I'm not trying to be aggressive or shame nobody's parenting. But like I said, don't nobody's kids need to see them animals and them devils when we building things of our own. And even if they do without it, nobody needs to teach your kids the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s because you can teach them. Okay. Stop giving your enemies your kids in their most formidable years of impression on their minds. Okay. And then also, none of these characters are good for your kids. Remember that it's more than just Sesame Street. It's all of them. All of these things come from TV and characters to parts and all of that, which all is a whole bunch of trafficking going on, whole bunch of drugging going on. It's more than just that park. It's Disney. Remember, they had the black family just had to whoop them Indians ass out there. It is what it is. And they're going to try to make it like that.
No, wait a minute. I forgot to tell, you know what I forgot to show you guys today? And, man, I was talking to my man, Freeman Media. There was an incident at Sesame Place where a white man stepped on a black kid's knee, and he bloodied the kid's knee up, and his mother went wholly off on him. They went wholly off on him, and then, of course, they got one of the black overseers, a black security guy. Then some white security guys came over because they were trying to throw, I guess, whoever was in her party out because they had some choice words for him. So he stepped on the kid and went into this door and they called him out. Then he lied to the security. That's right. He lied to the security. Damn it. You know what?
Can you pull it up real quick?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to give me a minute. I gotta pull up my Twitter.
While you pull it up.
Yeah, go continue talking. And I didn't mean to cut you off like that, but when you said something, it triggered something in me that I forgot to show you guys. This happened at that place. Go ahead, Yusef.
Yeah,
let me
so
see if I can find it.
You got to remember, it's all of them. It's Sesame Place. They was on TV. They got a theme park. They capitalizing off of that. It was Nickelodeon. They doing that. They had a theme park. Disney. They doing all that on TV. They had a theme park. All these places is getting charges for not only being the R word, but also for being predators, also for trafficking, also for other different things of degeneracy. And so that's more important, that you want to shelter your children from that as well, because even when you get your own black ones, you're going to have to look out for things like that. And my last and final thought, and I promise y'all, am I allowed to say the F word one time?
Oh, go ahead.
Just one time. We all the way at the end. They're not going to say nothing.
Go ahead. Go ahead, brother. If you gotta give the F bound, go ahead.
Just one. I'm gonna just say it. I'm gonna save it for one good one. Okay, and I hate to say this to y'all like this, but your enemies don't give a fuck about your kids. Okay, and the hell with theirs, little beady head, lice heads just gonna grow up to be some terrorists. All right, y'all have a good day.
Oh boy. Let me show you all something here. Thank you, Ratchet Today TV. I know you're gonna.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm still watching. I'm dropping down.
All right. Let me say what's up with Tori's Brain Games. He went by the name Talk with Tori. He's just changed and rebranded his channel to Tori's Brain Games. Check this brother's channel out. You will love it. But let me show you something. This is what happened to this kid. Let me see. Let me go in here. This is the young man right here. Here's what happened to the knee. Here's a picture of the knee. He scraped the young man's knee. Okay. This is my man, Freedom Media. And he was supposed to be on with me today, but I think he had some things. He's traveling. So that's what he did to this knee. Let me show you some more evidence of what's going on here. This is the dude that did it. This man right here. They went buck wild on him. He lied to the security. This is at Sesame Park. Ain't that something? Okay. A place where I told you they got a lot of white supremacy ideology going on out there in that county. It's called Bucks County. So this is the guy right here. So now let me show you some more of what we got. This is the first video right here. Let me enlarge this.
Security. Keep the bitch. Keep the bitch. Oh, now you want to call security because we're coming at you? You're a bitch. No.
So there you go. And wait a minute. So there it is. That's the first. Let me hit this again.
Little kids and not apologize. And look at him. He's scared. Look at him. He knows. He's a bitch. He's a bitch. Security. He's a bitch. He's a bitch. Oh, now you want to call security because we're coming at you? You're a bitch. No.
Okay, so they called security. I'm going to stop that. And how can I...
And look at him. He's scared. Look at him.
I want to show you guys the other one that I have, but I think I might need to detach this real quick. Let me detach that. Let me come back into Twitter world and see if I can. Okay, why is this thing not here? Let me rewind this again, and I'm gonna click another one for you to see. Okay. Okay, let me attach it again, like so. Bear with me, everybody, as we get ready to conclude the show, but I want y'all to see this. And
because he's a bitch. That's why I'm taking a video. Because I can do that. Because I can take a video of him. Here he is. He's fucking assaulting a little ass kid.
So basically,
that's why I'm taking a video.
This is that Sesame place. He assaulted the kid. You just saw what I showed you, what he did to his knee. As I showed you right there. There go the knee. That's the picture of the kid, right? Her son. Let me be respectful. Let me show you some more video. Now here go. You always got an overseer. He's trying to throw somebody out. He's trying to throw one of them out. Let's
He's using incorrect language. I didn't say I was going to. That's not a threat. That's not a threat. That's not a threat. Wait. Hold on, please. Let me just because you walked up. You gotta understand something. As I walked to the scene, because he was there first with my son, as I walked to the scene, and I said, you stepped on my son. You didn't apologize. He told me, shut up. And I said, you don't
see that? This is that Sesame place.
Because I told him not to tell me to shut up. So he's in here using language incorrectly to push an agenda, which is that we are the aggressors and that we are physical with him. He said, I don't. Now he's saying they're harassing him. This is misuse of language. He's using coded language.
All right, let me stop that right there. See, listen, he trying to tell them they got to leave. Listen to this. See, you always got a black overseer.
They gotta go. They gotta go.
You got to go.
Okay. Please, The one who threatened him.
The one who threatened him.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, you always have a black overseer. He works in security for Sesame Place. This brother right here. And the sister's saying that this man did damage to her son's knee and walked away. That's why they called him out. And you saw the picture I showed you of the son and what he did to his knee. This is a child. This is what the white race soldier did to the child. And then the overseer didn't want to hear what they had to say. He just said, well, whoever the other person is, they got to go. Right. She said it right in front of us. You always have, remember, in American society, you will always have a black person who will sympathize inside with the enemy.
They gotta go. They gotta go.
Nobody's harassing him. Okay.
In front of us.
Okay.
She has to go.
Please be clear. Because he's
The one who threatened him.
He's using
She's got to go. The one who threatened him. Wait a minute. She's got to go. But what about what about the young man? What about the young boy is the correct thing I should be saying here. And let me go ahead and let me see. Let me refresh my camera. I hope you all can hear me. Can you hear me? Let me know. Let me refresh my camera. Let me see here. Let me see here. Ladies and gentlemen, can you still hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah, I'm frozen right now. So my other system just shut down on me. So I'm gonna get ready to end the show. Just give me 1 minute. My system froze on me. So look, you just see a still photo of me. So it'd be just the same as if I had a avatar over like you guys. Don't matter, as long as you can hear me. So basically, as I get ready to end the show, everybody, you had the black overseer telling the black woman who the white race soldier had stepped over and did damage to his knee or hurt the child, and told her that someone in her party had to leave, that they're going to escort her because they heard her saying whatever epithets towards the white man who actually went to the security. And according to the mother of the child who was harmed, she said that he was making up stories and lying. And the funny thing about it is that it's not funny, is that the black man, the overseer that was there, he didn't say anything about the white man who did harm to her child. You never heard him say in these videos that I've played, he's got to go too. You're going to kick her party out. Why don't you kick the man who did harm to the child? You never heard him show any understanding to that. It was all about, well, you guys are mouthing off at this guy. See, this is the world that we live in, ladies and gentlemen. This happened at Sesame Place in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Bucks County. This is where this happened, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you for being here. Back to the basics. Thank you. Guy Nolly, will you have any closing statements?
Yes, I want to say thank you for having me, Information Man. Every time I tune in, I always learn something. You know what I'm saying? Also, too, I reach 1K of subscribers, and I
Fantastic.
definitely shouted you out too, brother. I want to thank you too, because you made it happen. You part of my success. You know what I'm saying? So I want to thank you. I want to thank everybody on the panel for sharing their wisdoms and their thoughts, and I've learned something, you know what I'm saying, from everybody in the panel, everybody in the chat. I want to thank y'all for being active. And I just want to say this too, watching that video that you just showed, it just showed it's sad that the security guard, when I looked at that and I listened to what he said, it was just a super coon at his best. He wasn't even concerned of the child. You would think that he would be more like, is the child okay? Rush him to a medical center or something. and then he'll say, okay, who, and find the guy at fault, the white guy at fault. You know what I'm saying? But wasn't even concerned with the child. That should have been his first concern. Is the child okay? Let's take him to a medical center. So that just shows you that, and the world's looking at this. The world is looking at how we treat each other. And then you think other races will treat us, with respect, and we don't even treat our children. This is our babies.
Right. The first thing he should have found out, since that's a place, once again, it's an environment that's supposed to be made for kids. So the first thing that he should have did was to take into account that the woman was telling him that her son was harmed by this man. And that was the reason why they came at him the way they did. So what he should have did is he should have took into consideration of the child's safety. He should have been wanting to know how is your son doing now? Let's get him some medical care. If he needs medical care, that's what he should have did. He could have calmed the situation down by at least showing some empathy for the fact that this woman was saying that this man did harm to her child. And because it's a place for kids, he should have been more concerned about, is the child okay? Right? But what happened is that the white dude went out after they confronted him and said, what's wrong with you? You just stepped on our son. And he went walking away from them like he didn't care, in a county where they got high levels of white supremacy. That's why I kept saying that. See, nobody's giving y'all this analysis about this issue like this today, at least on this day. And so when they confronted him, and of course they mouthed off at him, and so he go and run to the security and said, oh, they harassing me. And then the Negro gets involved and wants to say, she's got to go. You got to go. They got to go. Dude, you never even said, where is the son? Let's see this. Because in my estimate, if you're going to make anybody in her party go, then you mean to make his ass leave the park because he did harm to a child.
Exactly.
And I showed y'all the pictures, and the picture of the son, he didn't look happy on that picture. I didn't want to enlarge that picture because he's a kid, and I didn't want to really do that like that. I just wanted to give y'all a little glimpse that this was serious damage. He didn't have a broken leg or anything, but he scraped that kid up. So you telling me, see, this is the thing. If that dude had did that to that overseer's kid, if that had been that man's kid, do you think he would have been all hospitable about it too? He would have made some noise too. But that's the lesson that need to be learned here. Keep that in mind. You will always have a black overseer who will try to negate what you're saying and will be very much willing to throw your ass out because they're around this place. Let me go over to Empress Queen before we end. Empress Queen, thank you for coming up to let everybody know about your channel, and I thank you for coming up here today.
Oh, first of all, I just want to show my appreciation to you, Information Man. Respect to everyone up here on the panel and in the chat. I have a profound amount of respect for you because you always, I try to make every show because you're going to always drop some powerful messages on us, brother. That's why I work so hard to try to wake up the collective. But my channel is about, I'm just going to sum it up a little bit because I'm going to try to refurbish my channel a little bit too after I watched the show last night on Infomedia Live. But my channel is about all things spiritual, such as esoteric and occult knowledge, astrology and different things like that. But all I have to say is this: you're gonna always have a fetish step Uncle Tom House nigga out there that's gonna try to cover up for the white man. Every time they kill one of our children or one of us, if you ever notice when they have those news press conferences, the first one they're gonna put in front of the camera is a damn nigga, and they ain't talking about nothing. But like you say, we just need to get together. I don't know what the hell Black Lives Matter doing. They ain't doing a damn thing.
See, Black Lives Matter, in terms of the fact that Black Lives Matter, Black Lives does matter, but the problem is, let me get you back on here. The problem with Black Lives Matter is that the organization has been infiltrated by another agenda that has nothing to do with what's happening to black women or black men in this country. So they've been infiltrated. Their agenda is to push LGBTQ rights and all of that. They've been taken over by that narrative. So they're no longer really an organization that's looking at what's happening to us. They will use us to rally around to gain money and funds off of us. And that's what they've done. And that's just the way I see it. People don't like that. Deal with it because it is a fact. Let me just say this here as I get ready to end. Look, everybody out there, there are people, and I want to say Miss Miller, thank you. She says, always got to sell out doing their bidding. She should file a police report. Well, I hope that this sister did file a police report, and you are absolutely correct. Let me just say this in closing, that we need to just recognize that we're going to have people on these platforms that are going to try to negate. And thank you for coming up, Guy Nollywood. Thank you, my brother. And we got Incredible Hawk in the chat room. Thank you for being here. We got the real Aaron Collins. We got M Music in here. Thank you for being here. But let me just say this in closing. And thank you for being here, Empress Queen. And my screen froze, but y'all can still hear me. So that's all that really matters right now. We're going to have people that are going to jump out the window and they're going to give an analysis without setting back and doing proper research and letting the story play itself out. So today, it has come out in a nice summary here that Sesame Place did not do their due diligence, that there is another angle of the video that shows that that individual in that costume did hug other people of other races and bypass those little girls. That's a fact. Cannot be disputed. And there's been other incidents, as you notice on this channel. You saw the video. You saw the mother say what she had to say. You heard from the lawyer who said that there's many people who are calling them who have a case themselves, a bone to fry with this company. You witnessed me go over the history of Sesame Street, very brief history in terms of how it relates to black people. They literally built Sesame Street off the back of black people, black children, and black caricatures that they had on the show, or particularly black people. That's the history. It was built off of a Harlem, Bronx background, an urban setting that was designed to educate preschool age black children and Puerto Rican kids that were on the show, and many other people that were on the show. They brought celebrities on there, black celebrities, so they made their bones off of us. You see in that video at Sesame Place a situation where a black woman is calling a white man out for mistreating her son, and then you get these overseers like this who want to protect their system and escrow to it. This is just a reality that we deal with. My question is, as black people, we just can't support companies, things like this that will treat us like this so blatantly like this. So I just want to let you know that that's the facts today, that we went over this and we broke this down. There's some people who got up here on these YouTube streets and they gave you a dumb breakdown of this situation because they simply didn't have the information. They simply wanted to say that black people were over emotional, would jump to conclusion. What if it was a black person in a suit? Oh, we only got 9 minutes of the footage and I showed you more of the footage. You can expect on the information, man, when I go into a story that I will go deeper into the story to give you a more clear analysis than most people are going to give you that analysis. Jason Black gives you a hell of an analysis as well. But I'm going to give you an analysis as well to how things are. Not what I think they are, but what they are based on the evidence that I put forth. And then you take that evidence and you do with it what you will. You take from it and you say, hey, this does make sense. I showed you a whole variety of video footage, clips from things that have happened to young children that was unfortunate to them, black children, when it comes to these caricatures, these characters at Sesame Place. There's something more to it than little. And there was a black girl who said to her parents, he slapped me in the face. He popped me in the face. I showed that today. So this isn't about black people becoming over emotional. It's about us recognizing when we're being treated unfairly. We're being treated and being treated in a we're being undervalued and we're being underestimated. Now, I'm not naive to know that this can't happen, that this is not something that's new. I'm not naive to it. It doesn't mean that it does not happen, and it does not mean that we should not recognize it and recognize that these things happen. It does not mean, because there's going to be somebody out there that's going to say, y'all talking about holding yourselves back. It doesn't mean that it holds you back. Even though we know that racism exists, mistreatment exists in the society, do not let it hold you back. If you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, you want your kids to go to school, you want to be whatever you want to be, you know that these obstacles are out there, but you don't let it hold you back. You just simply go forward by recognizing that these are things that can potentially happen, but you don't let it hold you back. Empress Queen, thank you for the super chat.
Thank you for the super chat. You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel. Information is power.
Thank you for that super chat. I really appreciate that from you. Says fantastic show. Keep telling the truth. Let me see what Greg is saying here. Greg Harris says we need to get our respect as a race. The women and children should not have to get our respect as a race. We men must do that. Okay. We got M Music Man 1982 says, I like when the sister made the character go back and show her son respect. I like that too. We got Puppy in the house. Poppy in the house. Peace to you, brother Poppy. Make sure y'all check out that brother's channel as well. He's trying to get his channel up and going. We got a great show by Tori Brain Games. Thank you for that. We got Incredible Hulk says, like this is exactly why I keep my knuckle game off safety when I'm in public with my babies. Exactly, brother. That's what you're supposed to do. I appreciate you. M Miller says more dads are going to have to accompany their kids at these occasions. Yeah, we do. We do. Dads have to be involved. And we got my main man, Lions Den, a.k.a. Trey X. Check him out, too, as well. He says, peace, family. Me and him have been doing work together in social media for many, many, many years. Ebony M., who's been breaking a lot of ground with great comments today, says, everyone have a great night and a great day tomorrow. Thank you, my sister. I'm sorry that you can't see me because my screen's frozen. My other broadcasting system crashed on me for some reason. I think it happened when I went into my Twitter, and you know how these computers can act weird on you. So that's why you're seeing the avatar of what I would look like on the screen if you can actually see me moving around. We've got W in the house, behind the girl, whoever that, back to the basics. Thank you. Empress Queen, who gave me that super chat. I really appreciate that. Brother Yalpo for coming through. Thank you, brother. And then we got my man, Real Aaron Collins. And Natro is in the house. Thank you for being here. Deborah Gunn, thank you for being here. And once again, you all, and thank you, Ivan Fernandez. Thank you for coming over. I know who you are. You've come to my channel a few times in the past. Thank you for coming back over. Eric Ford, thank you for being here. We got Skater Lover. I think I didn't get a chance to shout this sister out. She's been in the chat room for a while now, and she's been telling some gems in there. She says this, I see it from the start without the other videos. The character literally gestured no. That was enough. I appreciate the research that negates their apology. Thank you. Thank you. Everybody, thank you. I'm going to get on out of here. Oh, we got Creatively Created is in the house. I love this sister. And let me tell you something too. Creative, the thumbnails on your channel, you don't need any more tutorage on thumbnails. You've got thumbnails to a science. Your thumbnails are professional on your channel. That's the last thing you need. You got the thumbnail game 100% down. Your thumbnails, just like that, the avatar that I have up here, it has this realistic look to it. Your thumbnails are on point. Y'all need to check out her channel. Her and her husband are incredible. You go over there and you feel welcome. You have a great time. That she shouts you out. She does giveaways over there. They're spiritual people. I just think you need to check out this channel, Creatively. Check her out. Triple C, check her out. Her and her husband are great. Real Aaron Collins, thank you. Check out my man Ty Weezy is in the house. Ty Weezy. I'm bad with names, but the champ is here. Look, check this brother's channel out. I have a lot of respect for. See, a lot of y'all need to know that I see you go to a lot of my other channels. This is my bigger channel. But I don't think a lot of you all realize how much I appreciate you all. When I create my content, I'm always thinking about the audience, you and mine. And I'm saying, I hope that they understand where I'm coming from with this perspective that I'm giving. I hope that they appreciate this content. I hope that they will walk away with something from this content. I hope that they'll want to come back and keep watching the program, right? So y'all really don't know how much I appreciate y'all when I'm preparing the content, and how much I appreciate the support that you give me on this channel. We got JT Coins rings. Thank you, brother. I can only give you the music. I can't give you the visual right now because my other system has crashed on me. But thank you. Keep up the great work.
Thank you for the super chat.
I wake up, flex, I'm down that check. No drip, this wet. Tell them run it on. No sleep, no rest.
Thank you. Are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
And let me give a shout out to RY. Gave me a $19 super chat.
Thank you for the super chat.
Tell them run it on. I wake up. Yeah. I wake up, flex, I'm down that check. No drip.
Thank you. RY has been following me for a very long time, as well as Golden Melanin. RY has definitely been rocking with me for a long time. I appreciate you. I'm just saying this. I appreciate all of you, because I think as content creators, we really don't humble ourselves enough to the people who follow our channels. You're the reason. You're the ones that give my channel views. You're the ones that push my channel through the algorithm. You're the ones who tell people about my channel. You're the ones that come over here and give great commentary in the chat. You're the ones. And I think more content creators need to show some humility and some respect to the people who are taking time out of their life to listen to your behinds. And so I'm showing you my appreciation. I wish you all can see me face to face, but I'm having some problems with my system right now. But I just wanted to say that, because I don't think content creators say this enough. And I think a lot of times content creators take people for granted, right? And just assume they're going to show up no matter what. No, people got lives, things happen. So I recognize that. You know, there's some weeks when you guys come over here in big numbers. There's some weeks when I may be talking about a topic that may not interest certain people as much. It doesn't matter. It's just that I know that the support has been solid over here, and I appreciate you all. Okay? This is a clap to everybody. Brother Yalpo, we'll be getting him on the show soon as well. So let me get out of here. I'm gonna play a little bit of music for y'all as I end the show, as I would normally play the music, but I just can't give you all the special effects that I usually give you all because of the fact that my other streaming system that I use to stream into StreamYards has crashed on me. Well, it's not crashed. It's shut down. So it would take too long for me to load all that stuff up. So we're going to part ways with a little bit of music, and I hope you all have a great evening. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I'll be back with more presentation. Check out the Information Man Speaks podcast in Info Media Live.
Tell me, is you trying to fuck? I'ma leave it up to you. What you wanna do? Look, I'm trying to spend this time with you. No, we overdue what you're doing right now. Baby, won't you swing my way? It's been a day and I've been thinking out loud. I know I want you. Long time since the last time. Got a tab, we could run up. Knew you from the way, now we grown up. My look, yeah, made the realest ones nervous. But if you want it, tap in. I think that I know somewhere that we
Brother Malik Smith, thank you. Ivan Fernandez, thank you. RY, thank you. Tori Brain Game, thank you. Yalpo, thank you. Guy Nollywood Jr., thank you. Golden Melanin, thank you. RY, thank you. Ty Weezy, thank you. Real Aaron Collins, thank you. Empress Queen, thank you. Sister D, thank you.
We was raised a little different. Used to be ashamed who I was, now I'm paid by the sentence. Taking my time with it. Baby, give me yours, so I could get them butterflies trapped in your rib cage. Let me know we on the same page. Give me with a text, voice note, or an emoji. Waiting all day for your name on the ID. So if you want it, tap in. I think that I know somewhere that we could go to crash it. And we could keep the bass on slow jam. Don't leave me on red. Can we go back where we first began? No plans, all we had was the moment. Just text, I know it's the Uber pulling up on call. Tell me, is you trying to fall through? I'ma leave it up to you. What you wanna do?
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
I'm not certain what would possess somebody to push a child down like this, but this is completely unacceptable.
Tell the truth.